of your hands that I don't even understand. All this time, but nothing changes. Why don't we feel like strangers? Thought you had forgotten me. I was finally finding peace. Now we're walking down the same streets. Got your hands in your pockets, like always. Saying everything that I ever wanted, honest. But I think you're too late. You're too late. But I think you're too late. Red light. You know I'm cautious. Apologize for how you were. Want me right back in the palm of your hands, but I should learn from the past. All this time, but nothing changes. Why don't we feel like strangers? Thought you had forgotten me. I was finally finding peace. Now we're walking down the same streets. Got your hands in your pockets, like always. Saying everything that I ever wanted, honest. But I think you're too late. If it was so special, why'd you let me go? If it was so special, why'd you wait this long to let me know? All this time, but nothing changes. We should go back to strangers. Saying everything that I ever wanted, honest. But I think you're too don't wanna be the only fighter in this battle of the sand. I don't wanna be the lone survivor. Can we defend the land we conquered back in high command? I don't wanna be the only driver.
How we doing, everybody? Happy Saturday to you. Hope you're all doing well. We're obviously getting into some D&D today. As always, I'm going to have all my attention going to the DM and to my group. So I apologize if I don't really chat or say much. Sometimes I'll text things or type things, message in the chat, but mostly I'm putting my attention to the group, especially DM, since he puts a lot of work into this to provide this for us. As always, if you want to get caught up on the campaign, everything's going to be edited up on my YouTube channel. I'll eventually get this video up there as well, if you have to head out during halfway through it or anything like that. I think that's everything. Exclamation mark group in the chat at any time gives you a full list of all the party members. Or if you do exclamation point, Thomas, exclamation point, Claude, whatever name, it'll pull up the little stat sheet. I usually try and throw it up there during the fights as well. But just for you guys' information of stuff that you can interact with and get more information while we're playing. But I think for now, I'm going to send it over to them and we'll start playing.
And maybe just
that's good. I think it's just the audio perfectionist type thing, and maybe like when I'm watching YouTube videos, it sounds a bit muffled.
Maybe it's your headphones. Do you want to sound like I'm underwater?
No, not now. See ya. But yeah.
All right, we are good to go. Let's D&D.
Let's do this. All right, let's get straight into it. We're gonna basically go straight into Daggerford, into the heart of Daggerford. We're at the Marcel compound, the Marcel house, where an almighty scuffle, battle for the ages had been confined within this residential premises. We had 3 key villains in our story, all happened to be in one spot at the same time. We had Captain Zian of the Howling Boar. We had Nelson Marcel, the Oathbreaker Paladin of the Marcel Merchandile and father of our own Claude Marcel. And we had the humanoid form of Kisera, the water elemental, entering the premises and making a beeline straight for Rain. Throughout this fight, there was water on the ground, there was electricity, there were water elementals, there was jumping and spinning and magical spells from jealous instruments, causing all sorts of chaos and randomness throughout the battle, which is exactly what we want in a good D&D to prevent what we talked about in the last session, a conga line of death, where everybody just gets in one line. And I have advantage, you have advantage, they have advantage, we all have advantage, and nobody has advantage. So, getting straight into that, one of our last big incidents from the last session was not only the complete decimation and ultimate demise of Captain Zian, captain of the Howling Boar, at the feet, one step away from our own Logon himself, when Kisera, who had her attention attracted by a "look at me" spell with the jealous instrument of bow, acting as a taunt. Kisera, now realizing that Captain Zian had died following an injection of lightning through the water that attacked and destroyed so many enemies from our own Rian, I believe, and Kisera was able to step over, realize her opportunity in that moment, take the blue shell that had been around Captain Zian's waist, and almost with little to no effort, just completely crushed it in her hands, almost to dust. Just the power of this shell, the spikes and the sharpness of it, the shine of it had no impact on her whatsoever, just turned to almost dust in her hand as she screamed at her newfound freedom, which led to her exiting the Marcel household, not without one extra look towards Rian, just to almost sadistically thank her for the help that she had provided all those years ago, that gave her that little injection of air genasi blood in her system that ultimately provided the imbalance between the 4 elementals of the purely water elemental plus air genasi, gave her that advantage, which has ultimately caused a lot of the events in this, obviously unbeknownst to Rian. and with that there was an almighty showdown as well between Nelson Marcel and Claude Marcel in the household. The last moments that we heard in this event at the time was not only Kisera and the water retreating out of the system, there was already chaos happening outside in Daggerford as the Howling Boar, in response to Captain Zane's blowing of the shell as well, were still firing cannons onto the city of Daggerford. So that was still exploding throughout the port area of the town. There was large crunching of an extremely heavy force crunching into the stonework and almost climbing out of the water onto Daggerford. And then there were two other thump thump sounds landing on the ground, as well as a whoosh sound, all coming from the, let's call it the public realm. For as long as it stands for, we'll see in this session what may happen with our crew in Daggerford. So, Claude, we're going to go start with you. Basically, Nelson Marcel had started to back off a little bit from yourself. What you had sort of noticed is that the reason for that was he had started to become a little bit scared once he saw that Kisera had destroyed the shell. So that was the one thing that had kind of taken his focus away from you, the destruction of this shell, everything else going on. And that's the one little part that caused him to retreat just a few steps away from you. So he hasn't run off. There's nothing in the way of you at the moment. He's still looking at you, but you can see that he's visibly taken a few steps back from you. He's still got his sword very much in place, the glowing red sword of the Oathbreaker in here with Nelson. And he's still looking at you in the eye, but you can tell this is the first moment that his eyes twitching a little bit off to the side in reaction to what Kisera has been able to do.
Okay, as he takes a few steps back, I take a few steps forward, because he's not just walking away from this. I'm going to say, where is she?
Where's who?
Where is my mother?
Believe it or not, she's closer than you think.
That's not an answer.
Boy, to demand an answer from me. I am your father. You already abandoned me once. This empire that I built was for you. I had to take Rickard, of all people, under my wing. This was supposed to be for you. You joined the Temple of the Helm, and instead of using it as a networking opportunity to help rise your family up through Daggerford, you had to become all holy about it and actually believe this crap that they talk about. Who the hell are you to demand anything off me?
Look, what is wrong with the empire that you have now? Look, you've raised through politics without me. I don't see Rickard doing anything wrong.
To make sacrifices that you have no idea to be able to get where I am. All without you. You were supposed to be by my side. You are a disappointment.
Ouch. Damn. Regardless, our mother, we grew up motherless, and are we to believe that now she's still alive? Have you been hiding her from us?
I never said she was alive. I never said she was dead.
It's convenient, isn't it? To
sometimes,
exclude the truth.
Sometimes a child asks the questions that they truly want to know the answer for. And for the longest time, you buried yourself in your books and your gods and your religion, looking for your answers when all you had to do was come back to me. And I would have helped show you the way.
Well, here we are, and you're not leaving until I get an answer.
Well then, come and take your answers.
Question the room. So Zane's dead. Kisera and Nelson are the only two in here, enemies?
So Kisera basically withdrew from the property. So basically she destroyed the shell. She almost kind of transformed into the water. Basically she almost glided out of the house altogether. And with that came all the water that was at your feet and the water elementals. So it's basically just you guys and Nelson inside the house at the moment.
Okay.
And Zane is graveyard dead.
Yeah, Zane is graveyard dead.
Okay.
He is dead and is not alive. So yes.
Okay.
Yes. And the reason you sort of get that is the idea that of Kisera actually being able to take the shell from that. So that's kind of this is no sort of trick heartbeat. His heartbeat stopped for 2 seconds to make him seem like he's dead. No, it's like boom. Got it. Dead. The howling boar is still pelting the port town with cannon fire. Every so often you're hearing steps, just bangs and shakes. I'm kind of shaking the camera just to give that sort of boom, 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 boom. And a whoosh, whoosh, feeling as well as you go around. And there's screaming. There's not as much screaming as you would think because kind of everybody had already ran away once the water was lapping up on top of things. So there isn't a lot of the general public sitting here at the moment. But there's little bits from towns and like the tavern is nearby. So maybe some people tried to, thought for a second to hide out in the tavern and they're realizing that's a bad idea because shit's going down everywhere.
Hearing the cannon fire without taking his eyes off his father, Claude's going to ask Tommy, how do we stop this attack? It seems like they're still going.
So you notice that Tommy has walked over to Zane and he's having one of those very slow movie moments where like there's you two are yelling back and forth, there's explosions going on outside, but he's just staring down at the captain, and you're whatever you just said kind of came across like and because he's just looking down at the captain and he kind of squats down over him and not kind of to him, not loud enough really, because I know I think Logan is still kind of somewhat in the area, but
yeah,
kind of just to him, he was like to Zane, he's like, you were the first true father figure I ever had. You cared for me and you loved me at one point, but something changed in you. Your greed and your anger and your want to be more than just a simple pirate divided everything we could have been and could have had, and you went down a path that I couldn't follow you. And he kind of pauses for a moment, he spits on the ground beside him, and then I want to start looting. I want to loot Zane.
Yeah,
as and then like as I'm like kind of going through his pockets, the Claude's like, how do we stop this moment? And Tommy in the middle of looting kind of like looks up back at Claude and like, what?
Tommy, how do we stop the attack?
I don't know. It was always his instructions that everyone followed. I don't know how we stop the ship.
Just before Claude, in that sort of split second that Claude's probably about to say his next line, Tommy, could you roll an investigation check for me, please?
Yeah.
Can you roll it? Rather than give you the D6 inspiration, I'm going to give you this investigation check with advantage because you know Zane and you've been around him. You know, like there's going to be a hiding spot for things, where that might likely be, etc.
investigation, you said?
Yep.
9.
9. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Good thing about Captain Zane is basically as you look down, one of the first things you kind of notice is there's a smell that stings your nostrils, basically because the beard hair on him has singed from the lightning and the shock that has gone through the water. So he's there, he's dead, and there's still a little bit of a singe from beard hair coming off him. And what you can see quite easily is he doesn't have any of his weapons at the moment, but you can see where he was lying down, moving towards. And sort of out of the corner of your eye, you catch where your rapier and your gun are stored, basically on the counter to the side of you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna grab those.
And quite easy to find. This wasn't actually that difficult of a roll. There was one small chain around his neck. There was a key on a piece of string around his neck. And the shape of the key, which I don't have a picture for at the moment, has a little heart at the top of it. So it's at the top where the rope kind of loops through, and then there's a key.
Yeah, I break the chain or whatever the tie is that's holding it.
It's just like a string around his neck.
I break that, stick that just into my pocket, grab my pistol, and wait. So do I have 2 pistols and 2 rapiers now, or are we saying I have just my original pistol and
you have 2 pistols if you want to take them? Yours was the one that popped off in his hand.
Yeah.
So you still have yours. It's not broken or anything.
Okay.
But you could tell that he wasn't used to using your pistol. Because you rolled badly. It was almost like the way you use your pistol. So if you want, you could have 2 revolvers and your rapier.
Okay. Yep. So Tommy picks, and he's like, I'm contemplating like what Claude's request, and I'm really trying to come up with an answer because it was always Zane that made the commands, and then the commands went through. He never had like a second in command that people also respected. So I can't like give information of like, oh, if we go get so and so, they'll make it stop. I'm just kind of. There was A and there was B. A is gone.
That works exactly for Zane. Yeah, that works exactly for Zane's personality. A, the pirate life doesn't normally last long for too many people. It's like the old idea when you meet an old warrior, you know they're a really good warrior because they don't often die of old age. Mm-hmm. The pirate life is similar to that. So there's a very high turnover rate with the pirate's life. And he was such a dominating personality that he doesn't need a 1B. He is the 1A of this ship. And if anything, probably a bit of mistrust. If there was a first mate for him, it probably would, in his mind, increase the chance of a mutiny because you could rally people around that one person. So he's such a dominating personality. There's no obvious first mate for him.
Okay, so then I stand up with my stuff. Can I
for a split moment, you possibly wonder maybe I was in line with becoming the first mate just because of your history together, but. You'll never know.
No. Can I still do an action?
You're not in combat at the moment. There may soon be an initiative once we kind of go back to Claude because he's kind of in that split second. And Bo, if there's something you want to do, we'll pop over to you in a second. Cool.
I will.
Tell me. What's your action?
Actually, no. I'll just pass back to Claude. Tommy just stands up with both of his pistols and just kind of turns towards Claude's father.
Cool. Bo, in that moment, as Tommy's sort of coming back out of his seemed like a long time contemplation.
I apologize. I will bonus action reload those pistols though because I'm pretty sure they both have gotten shot. So
yeah, it was very good. Love it.
So Bo's gonna see tensions are very high. Actually, I believe I'm still invisible. I don't know about that.
You actually you did do.
Came out.
I think you did do one action and then you came back. So yeah.
Okay.
Because you were questioning how does this type of invisibility work, right. And it was you did something and came back. Yeah.
So using my pan flute. Using both pan flute to avoid any unwanted repercussions or side effects, I'm going to cast Calm Emotions. Since the tensions are really high, we're not in combat yet, but Claude seems conflicted about taking this any further.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm going to cast that.
So you didn't trade that when getting your new instrument. You kind of did you have like a pocket instrument? It's almost like an ankle holster for a gun. Did you have a pocket pan flute?
I had a hand drum.
Yes,
I believe that I gave to.
Yes,
George.
That's right. Okay, cool. Okay, that's fine.
It was the one that I made my mage hand play.
Yes, you did indeed. Okay, cool. So you've got a pan flute. You're still hearing a little whisper because if there's anything a jealous instrument is really not going to like, it's another instrument being used. So, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
so Yep. Calm emotions. Yep.
You attempt to suppress strong emotions in a group of people. Each humanoid in a 20-foot radius sphere centered at a point your choosing must make a charisma saving throw. A creature can choose to fail this saving throw if it wishes. If a creature fails, one of the following two effects, and it would be the one that I would choose is you'd make a target indifferent about creatures of your choice that are hostile towards. So make him indifferent to us.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to play that a little bit in terms of so imagine you're kind of pointing this in the general direction of Nelson. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm going to 20 foot around Nelson. Yeah.
Yeah, because Nelson, I feel like, is the one that we can't really control.
Yeah. So you're not like doing a spell on Claude, going, "Calm the fuck down," will you?
Well, I mean,
maybe, yeah. It's okay. It's only. Well, don't worry about it. It's cool, man. It's cool.
If anything, I should probably try to get Tommy in on. He's the one pointing guns everywhere.
Not everywhere, specifically.
Yeah.
Specifically at Claude's father.
That's fine. So because you're not using your powerful weapon,
okay.
So there's no downside to that. I'm going to roll this with advantage. It's an extremely, extremely strong set of emotions he's got, but I'm going to roll this with advantage.
All right.
Just as a nice way to be like, okay, yeah.
I'm just attempting something here.
I get you. Go for it. 14?
No, save is 15.
Oh, unsave. Okay, so he fails that. So how does that sort of present, in your opinion? You're the one sort of casting the spell. Nelson's like ready to go with the sword. This isn't like command or anything where he's going to do something completely against his will or whatever. So how does this sort of come across to you, or what would Claude be seeing from someone who's quite close to him?
So I'd like to imagine that I was behind Claude, so I'm going to be, no words are going to be spoken. It's just going to be simply, he starts playing the flute in a manner that it's just calm and sweet, almost like songbirds, and since it's kind of like a charmed type of spell.
Yeah.
All of Nelson's attention is just gonna kind of like dissipate.
Okay.
Because I mean, it's supposed to turn him indifferent, at least not hostile to us. So maybe like from pulling his sword up, he just kind of like looks up and just he doesn't let his guard down, but just
it's just a little bit. It's less obviously antagonistic.
Almost like he had a realization that this isn't the path that he wants to take.
Yeah, love it. So like almost like a doubt in his mind that's kind of helping him, taking him back from the brink of this extreme rage, this Oathbreaker. You can see this glow of the red sword itself is almost kind of dulling a little bit. In that, there's a little bit less intense of a red glow from this sword, and it's maybe not quite up as high sort of position. It's more a little bit like kind of across the chest, almost slightly defensive, just in case, because he's not going to go completely prone with it. So, but it's a little bit more of a warmer glow from the sword. It's not as hellish red as it was before. you were saying a song like Songbird, so I'm almost kind of like, when do birds suddenly appear? And just everyone around it is sort of like relaxing with that. So, okay, so yeah, so that's working. So basically, Nelson's far less tense at the moment. He's not loosey-goosey or anything like that there, but he's certainly down from the brink of the rage of almost like any moment he probably would have done a preemptive strike towards Claude. Okay, fantastic. Anything else you want to do before we kind of jump back to Claude in this split second?
No, I don't think it's... Bo doesn't think it's his place to kind of like push anything else beyond this, but...
Okay, so fantastic. Claude, before we come back to you 1 second, open it up. Is there anything anybody else wants to cover in terms of like a mini action or a reaction? Something would happen almost in the moment.
Gotta let anybody else before I say anything.
Yep.
Did Rian see where the tentacle that got cut off of Kisera fell?
Yeah, so it just fell straight to the ground with the water having sort of dissipated away out the door, almost unnaturally kind of sucked out the door behind her. You can see it. There's basically two of them. You can see them on the ground, almost in between where Claude and Nelson are. So you're sort of, I believe you were sort of midway up the stairs. So if you were to look down, you'd see these two tentacles with that are oozing a little bit off the top. And can you roll an investigation for me, please?
Oh, that's a 20 plus 4. 24.
Excellent. Right. So you are focused in on this. This is Kisera's dismembered body. All of your attention is on that. While investigating this, it's so focused in, you even briefly forget where the hell is Tobin, because you're so focused on these tentacles. Okay. And what you can see is at the top where they're bleeding, it almost looks like two blood colors are coming from the tentacle. One is like a deepish purple, which you would sort of more closely associate, a deepish purple blue that you would associate with kind of Kisera's skin tone, the way she is. And the other is a blood color that looks closer to your own. So if you think of yourself in terms of like your blood in there, because it almost looks like two different colors that are kind of slightly dripping out from that, as opposed to just a big pool of red blood. If it was like a human, it almost looked like there's two colors kind of meshing and, lava lamping, kind of in amongst each other.
I'd just like to pick those up, and I have a thought that I would take them back to Jarvis if we meet up with him again and see what his thoughts might be.
Okay, fantastic. I'm going to suggest that just because it's in between the showdown of Claude and Nelson Marcel, you're not going to walk down just yet to pick them up.
Okay.
So I don't think you can kind of walk into the middle and go, "Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna pick up these tentacles. Don't mind me. I'm not going to get in the way." So
I'll just keep my eyes on them to make sure I don't lose them.
Excellent. So we'll kind of have it that basically when you're leaving, let's have it that you automatically pick them up, as opposed to having to remember to do it later on. Okay?
Cool. Yeah.
Cool. Anything from Logan or Tel at the moment?
Can I heal? Can I cast a spell? Yeah, I guess I could.
Absolutely can.
Am I close enough to Bo? For cure wounds?
You could walk towards them. I think you kind of get the feeling with Nelson Marcel being a little bit less on edge. It's not like if anybody moves, he's going to strike moment. So yeah, you could do that.
I'm going to cast level 2 cure wounds, which is 2d8.
Fantastic.
Oh boy.
So that's 10 hit points regained. 5
Well,
plus
thanks,
4
buddy.
plus my modifier of 1.
11 altogether, did you say? Yeah.
10 altogether.
Oh, 10
9
altogether.
plus
Okay.
1.
Bo, in that moment, just after you've played the flute and all, two birds suddenly appear. Not only that, you're wondering, is this a healing spell for me? Because I'm starting to feel a bit better. And you kind of feel this from the back. But what you also feel is basically there's this cloak that's like stroking the back of your hair, as well as part of the healing process. So not only have you got Logan's like hand on your shoulder healing you, you've almost got this cloak going, it's okay, buddy, it's okay. And you feel significantly better.
That's lovely.
Is anybody else hurt that needs healing?
I'm kind of hurt.
Tommy's not looking.
Okay.
Thomas, let's get you patched up, bud.
Well, unless you have something that's a distance heal spell, you're on top of the stairs and I'm down below. So
I have a healing word, which anybody that can see within 60 feet. Is that cool, Ravishing? We good?
Yeah, that's fine. You can kind of twist around the top of the stairs so that you can basically, have the high ground on Tommy as you're like, take this healing.
I just picture him like up over the railing. Hey, buddy, are you doing all right?
Feeling better? Yeah.
Okay, how low are you?
I mean, I could get like, I'm at 19. My max is 33.
Ooh, okay, hold on. Frick.
You do whatever you feel is
I'm gonna hit you with a
appropriate.
1. 9. So I cast Healing Word on him, and I blow him a kiss with 9 points of healing.
Thank you.
So Tommy, this blown kiss action from Tel up in the stairs, the way you feel that though is like right on your tummy. It almost feels like a tummy rub, like a belly rub. So it's a belly rub of healing.
It's a warm one too.
It's a warm belly rub of healing that you're feeling. So you're feeling better, but from the belly up. So,
I will say it's a lot harder to look tough pointing 2 pistols at somebody when you're getting a loving belly rub feeling at the same time. Like,
yeah.
I'm serious about this.
No wonder
Thank you.
Rusty wants this so badly. So yeah.
I get it now.
A magical feeling of belly rub of healing from Tel. Fantastic. Cool. Okay, Tel, just so you know, you've kind of moved around the stairs and you're pretty much right beside Rian on the stairway as well. You kind of move down a little bit towards her to be able to look down towards Tommy.
Okay, perfect. And then
she's like focused on the tentacles. So yeah.
Perfect. Do I have eyes on Claude and Papa?
You're looking right down the stairs at them.
Okay, perfect.
And then
Logan, there's a moment that for a split second you think you hear clockwork. Like a just for a very split second. No one else really pays attention. Everyone's sort of focused on it, but for some reason for you, you hear a...
And Lowe just gonna kind of look around, confused, trying to figure out where that sound's coming from.
Exactly. Okay, cool. Claude, we're going to bounce back to you. So basically, a lot's happened in this moment. There's been a nice bit of healing going on. It's been quite quick. Thankfully, it's been helped by Nelson being far less reactive because only so much would have happened. Someone who's in that defensive mode doesn't wait around for everyone. Because you guys, you done your healing? Huh? Okay, is it okay if I go now? So yeah. So yeah. So Claude, you are looking at your father as his emotions calm down. There's a very brief moment if you look at him. I want you to roll perception for me, please.
Okay. That is 16.
Yeah. As his emotions, as the face sort of relaxes a little bit from him, and you can look at him, there's this hard stare that's been on you this whole time. This rage, disappointment, whatever emotions you think he's feeling. One eye, a tear will fall down this eye just as he's out of this super pent up emotion. You've been talking about yourself and your mother, and this one tear just drips down. His beard is quite high, so it very quickly goes in amongst the hair. But just with that high roll, you do notice it very quickly. And it's not like, I know there's been a lot of water around you. If you'd rolled lower, it might have just looked like, water and basically wetness of the entire house. But there's a very, very clear tear comes down one eye and then amongst his beard.
I'm gonna ask him again. Where is she?
I did everything right in life. I had everything for a moment. I just did what I could to. I tried. I really tried. That's in the past now, and you just he basically composes himself again. He's back in the glow. Doesn't go as intense as it was before, but you can see it is almost signifying or symbolizing the conflict of his emotions. He's got this spell of the calm emotion. He's still got this rage in him, and it's almost kind of glowing with the red a little bit, but it's still, the face is still there, so the spell is still worked. But you can tell he's really fighting against it because it's just wherever he's at the moment. Very, very conflicted. Didn't mean for this to happen.
Okay, so
wasn't supposed to be like this.
Now it's Claude's anger is starting to bubble over, and he's gonna ask again, but he's gonna yell it as a command.
Okay.
Can I cast it as a command spell?
Yep.
To ask him the question.
Yep.
All right. And that's a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
Where is she?
Right. So, just to give you the concept, he only rolled a 5. Okay? He only rolled a 5, so there's little to no. He's being compelled to say this. He doesn't want to say it. She's not here, and yet she is here. That thing that walked out of our house. That's your mother's body.
The fuck? That's out of character. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's her. I made deals with everybody. You grow up in this life of enterprise and commercial, and you're used to making deals and trades and sacrifices. And I went to every doctor, every medicine man, every guru, every shaman, and none of them could help her. None of them could help her. And then Kisera, the water embodiment of Kisera, made a deal. She just wanted to be able to go up onto land and see the rest of the world, she told me. And I didn't know whether to believe her, but I wanted to, because it meant that Maria, my dear Maria, would still be among us, but it transformed her into that thing, and even then she left. She took the body, and I didn't get to have her around anymore, and I didn't know what to tell you, and that thing is, I don't think it's your mother anymore. It's been too long. But that thing is almost worrying her, like a sick costume taunting me. Sorry, I tried. Really tried.
Claude's arms just kind of drop. Like, he doesn't drop his weapons, but the tension just kind of falls out of him, and he has no words to describe what he's feeling.
everybody who's looking at Nelson Marcel, I want you to roll a. I'm going to go with a perception check because what's about to happen is extremely quick. It's almost instantaneous. You don't have time for investigating. It's a perception.
Dirty 20 for Tommy.
17 for Bo.
16 for Tel.
Yeah. Okay. Logan, Rian, and Rian, I'm going to say you're focused on the tentacles.
Yeah, not looking.
Okay, that's cool. Logan and Claude.
Okay, so I am looking. I wasn't sure if I was. It's a.
I'm gonna say because you're over beside Bo, because you were behind Bo and Bo's looking in that direction, so I'm okay with you doing that.
A 9.
A 9. So you don't. You're more focused on Bo. That's okay.
13 for Claude.
Claude, you're too focused on your dad. Okay. Bo, Tommy, Tel, from your distance, in a moment you just hear a quick footstep, and you hear, in a split second, you hear, "You did what to my mother?" And a enraged Rickon is now behind Nelson Marcel, and he's lunging towards him with a dagger to his back. Do you have any actions or reactions left in this turn to be able to do anything?
I can, this is a good time for my reaction cutting words, which can prevent damage or an attack.
Okay, that's fine. So you think of that for the moment. Tommy and Tel.
Tommy lets it happen.
Tommy lets it happen. Okay, Tel.
Don't blow raspberries on him.
Hold on, calm down. Let me give you a belly rub.
The world-class belly rubs.
No.
Okay. No. Cool. Oh, you're up. Split second, cutting words. Tell us what's happening, what you're going to try to do.
Yeah, my focus has been on Nelson and the surrounding area of Nelson while I'm playing the pan flute, and as I see Rickard lunging at him with the dagger, I turn my flute in to kind of almost point it at it, almost I'm throwing the flute, but really I'm throwing
the spell. Yeah.
The spell.
Okay.
Yeah, at the dagger to kind of deflect it. And really all it is, I don't know how you want to do it. It's just, what is it? I use it what is it? Where is it? It's reaction. Yeah, all it would be is I'd make it as a reaction when a creature you see within 60 feet makes an attack roll, ability check, or damage roll. You can expend 1 bardic inspiration, roll the die, and subtract the number from the creature's roll. So
okay, cool, that's fine. So he's basically going to roll an attack, and then you're going to reduce from that. So you tell me what you roll to take away from it, and we'll see if that's enough to basically deflect or at least distract him enough that he probably misses, because there's a lot of armor and stuff on Nelson, so he would be going for a very particular part that would be exposed almost underneath the arm. So any distraction could lead to the dagger just going into the armor.
Well, it is a 5.
Yeah. Rickard, in his furious, highly emotional state, he's not the most profound, not the most proficient warrior in the world anyway. So he only rolled an 8 with your 5, and he's tears in his eyes and rage, and he just goes for the dagger, and it does cause a significant impact against the armor, but it's not piercing. It's not up against it. It almost kind of hits it and scrapes off it, and he's there, and he's trying to push his dad, and loses the dagger. He's trying to punch him or whatever. So he's getting into this scuffle at the moment. Claude, you're right there. Rickard has appeared out of nowhere behind your father. You didn't even see the knife until it had already hit the armor and flew out of his hand and hit the ground. What do you want to do?
I'll rush forward and kind of not so much a grapple, it's more of a hug, but like try to pull him away and just hold on to him, just embrace him.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, are you embracing Rickard? Are you embracing Nelson? Are you embracing them both? Are you Rickard?
Yeah,
okay,
just Rickard.
Cool. Okay. I'm gonna roll a strength-based, basically strength-based duel with you. I'm gonna roll the disadvantage because he's highly emotional. You're stronger than him anyway. He rolled a nat 1. He rolled a 19. He rolled a 19 and a 1. So definite disadvantage on that one. So you basically you're going to be able to grab him. The worst you're going to do is tie. Can you get at least a 2?
A dirty 20.
To a dirty 20. There you go. Okay.
You hug him too hard and kill him.
Like Lenny and the rabbits. No, Rickard. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. You easily basically scoop up Rickard, and he thinks about, he almost wants to fight against you, but it's far too strong of a hug. He's already kind of missed his chance of attack, and he's just sobbing his heart out into your arm.
Sorry, in his ear, I'll just say there could still be a way. There could be a way. We don't know that it's over. I try anything to just calm him down. We'll find a way.
Okay.
We'll find a way.
Yeah. So all of that happened in about the space of about 30 seconds from the last session. They're just like they're healing belly rubs and tentacle investigations and calmed emotions and reveals. So within about 30 seconds to a minute, all of this has gone down. There's still cannon fire happening outside. There's still whooshing sounds in the air as you're going along. What do you guys want to do?
I should have done it when I don't know exactly what kind of check for that. Do I know what the key is? Because if I would know that the key is the answer to Claude asking me how to stop things, then I would have given that information. But I don't know if it's something that I know or not. So
not a notion. Not even worth a roll. Not even a notion for you.
Okay, so it was something he kept to himself. It wasn't something he would brag to the crew, or we knew that it went to a certain thing. So okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also, because he was such a big bad, that pistol I picked up has like a plus 12 on it, right?
Yeah,
his pistol
exploding. Yeah,
his pistol, not my pistol.
Yeah. It would have a plus 12 if you're an expert marksman. One of the criteria for it is to have it landed at least one shot in your life.
That's why I was.
Have you met that criteria?
I'll have to roll back the tape. I'm not exactly. Yeah, okay, I can't deny or confirm, but
yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. So mechanically, a very similar revolver, but it'll look as pretty as you want it to look. Because you know Captain Zane. How would he even decorate a revolver, or would it be pretty ornate? Would there be a howling boar on it for his nickname? You can kind of have an idea of what that might look like. Okay, fantastic. Cool. Everybody's in there. Nelson he's bewildered, he's confused. Rickard just tried to kill him. His two sons are hugging in front of him. He's feeling emotional. And he basically he lets go of his sword. It falls to the ground. He falls to his knees. He did not expect this to be the way that it goes. It helps when you are magically calmed of nerves, and that allows the wall to come down, the wall of rage that has been built up over this time. And he's basically on his knees at the moment, and he's just having to contemplate everything that he's done in his life. Like this empire was built on slave trade. You know, the facade had been there as this honorable mercantile. He's worked his whole life for it. He's thinking about his wife. He's thinking about his kids. But he looks up and he goes, I deserve to be punished. Not only as an oathbreaker, but just as a man, as a human. And he's just emotionally defeated.
I was going to ask him, was it you that turned Niall into what he is today? Is that monster, Nelson?
I didn't do enough to stop it. I knew about it. Yeah, and just more and more stuff is coming. Logan, tick tock, and then Bo, basically you're just thinking about this, and he's there. He's thinking about it again. So yeah, he knows that he basically goes. He wasn't in the inner circle of my plans. He thought that Captain Zane was an enemy of mine. I think he went out to try to take care of Captain Zane himself. But when he got close to him one day, there was a young man that distracted him at a port that led to his capture. That's
Can he be saved?
All I know of that. He's not there anymore. He's not Niall anymore.
Can I insight check to see if he's being completely honest about that?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. 12.
Yeah. As the response with most insight checks, just to not completely give it away from you, you believe he is telling the truth. There isn't really, there isn't even an attempt at a deceit rule from him on that. You just get the feeling just his heart is pouring out at the moment. It was super quiet. It's lovely. Something. It's like you just gotta remember in the background. It's like as a sound designer, it would be a mess because all this shit has to be like turn the dial down in the background because it's just explosive stuff going on outside. But yeah, this is all happening as well. It sounds like I'm trying to get you go outside as a DM behind the. It's not. It's just I have to keep reminding you that we're not as characters. You're not actually in there for 10, 15 minutes doing this stuff. It's all happening very, very quickly. In the moments.
Logan would like to investigate the ticking.
Yep. Okay.
See if I can find where it's coming from.
Yep.
We're gonna have a Peter Pan moment.
I was thinking Stranger Things season 4 is what it's making me think of.
They're on season 4?
Spoilers!
Genuinely didn't know.
Investigation check, Logan.
17.
Yeah. Okay. The sound, if coming from anywhere, is above you, but outside.
Now you're trying to get him to go outside.
He just wants to put Logan back on top of a building.
The sound is right beside the bad guy. The main objective is it's over there. No, that's where it's coming from.
So if I'm able, I'd like to just head towards the front door. There were two thumps out there earlier. I wanted to investigate that already, but also this ticking on the roof. I want to see what's going on outside.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. Basically, as you go outside, this is almost the saving Private Ryan moment. You've had all this conversation inside the building, and Logan steps out, and there is to his right there is cannon fire smashing up onto the port, and the first source of the sound that you can hear of the clattering is none other than
No.
It better not be.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's much better. Whew. That was. You need to worry. It was a zombie swordsman.
This thing crunching and kind of climbing on to the port area as it is climbing up onto the port area. You can see the humanoid form of Kisera as well, staring it down. So obviously the scale is way, way different. Like Kisera is like here, humanoid form. And this thing is towering, and it's almost in the split second that you're looking before everyone else reacts. What you see, Logan, is what you know to be Aid, this fire-moving volcano top, climbing out of the water onto the port of Daggerford. It's also being hit by some of the cannon fire, and you can see it's taking a little bit. It's kind of moving a little bit. It's not like completely oblivious to the hits. It is doing it a bit of damage, and Kisera, with a bit of bleeding from the side with the tentacles, is confidently striding up to it, with all the water around her feet, and she's almost walking on top of this water. So she's striding face to face towards the Aid and towards the edge of the water.
So Logan is like completely in shock, eyes just bulging out of his head. But he'll look back into the room and be like, hey guys, the volcano's here.
Right before you finish that sentence, I want you to do a dexterity saving throw for me.
Oh.
Oh wait, saving throw. This one.
Yeah. And tell me what the skill of your cloak is also going to do as well. Is it like a plus? Is it to basically you taking damage?
I think it was
I have to find that again.
something about perception checks.
Where did I put that?
As well, just in case.
If anyone has that picture, no, I'm trying
do.
to find it.
That's right, I do. Yeah, and I have to do everything. Yeah.
I kept it on my desktop for so long
No,
that
I'm putting
I
that.
remember where I moved it
Good.
to.
It's in the general.
It's the alert, I think. No.
General
Okay.
chat Discord.
Alert. Yeah, so the cloak can grow and rearrange its eyes as well as its dark vision, and will attempt to alert you if it spots hazards, giving you an advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on sight, which is not this particular scenario. Because the threat that you're under, you can't see at the moment.
He does get plus 2 AC.
He does. That's right, doesn't he? Yeah.
And immunity to and resistance to acid damage.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, he does. Granting, that's what it is. Yeah, it pushes you and pulls you out of harm's way, granting plus 2 to AC. So whatever you roll, add a 2, please. Thanks, Bo. That's a good one.
So rolled a 13, so that'll be a 15 for dexterity.
Okay. Cool. This thing that's about to fall on you, you can tell there's little to no coordination in it whatsoever, because the final
Come on, I killed this guy.
Yeah. Okay, so the final part of this, but basically what falls down straight onto the ground has no legs, half of the face is apart, and basically as you look in amongst the body, and there's only one arm, and it's kind of trying to crawl towards you with one arm. It's determined to get you. What you can see on it is there's gears in it, and past the face there's gear work and clockwork, and that was the in amongst the physical body. In there you can see part of the brain on show, and this thing has just tried to fall on top of you, basically from the rooftop. It's missed because the cloak pulled you out of the way, and it's just trying to drag its one arm towards you. It has no kneecaps for you to aim at anymore. You can tell this is not a conscious part of its plan. It's just so absolutely decimated. You can see the only way it probably got out of the ropes was by losing the limbs, the last tiny bit of, mindless life that this thing has in it is crawling towards you. So right before you finish that, you could basically go, guys, there's a this thing just falls straight down beside you. You get pulled out of the way, and the final remnants of what was Nile is now at your feet.
Jeez.
Logan, I can't believe the evil you did to that man.
You want to stab him in the head?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep, go for it. Basically, you're not missing. This thing is, you're not missing. It's not been. Oh man, if you roll on that one, go for it. Just don't roll a 1. Okay, cool. Tell me what you do to finally finish off Nile,
so,
the assassin.
As he's crawling towards me, he's not a threat at all. So I kind of get down on my knees and just plunge the dagger straight through his, I guess, skull, if he even has a skull.
Yep. Yeah. So it has a skull. It has the brain earlier on that whenever you, I think it was it? I'm trying to think. It was Rian. I think it tried to mind meld with it, if I remember correctly, or was it Bo? It was Bo.
That was Bo. Yeah, that was.
In the completely normal, average sized pantry that's in the Marcel house. The completely normal, average sized pantry, and basically that's when you just heard the screaming. Like there was no visual. Revan's screaming, so the brain is still in there, and this dagger just goes straight into the brain. It has to go through a bunch of the clockwork that's around the face that had been sort of moving the eyes and making it look like it blinks or doesn't blink or whatever, and twist. You be able to move its head straight into the brain, and it's now no longer moving.
Logan will just say, "You're not coming back again."
So Logan's mini nemesis in there just refused to stop, had an opportunity, was just tied up and left away, and did what it could to try to accomplish the last remnants of his mind. And that, Claude, as you look to the side, you heard Logan go outside. He goes, "Hey guys, there's a..." And Niall's body hits the ground, and Logan just comes over and just dagger straight into the brain, straight through the gear work, the clockwork, and is no longer there. Rickard's still bawling his eyes out into your shoulder. He doesn't see anything. This is your Niall. Hasn't been your Niall for a long time now. And that's him gone. So within about 60 feet, we've lost Captain Zane and Niall in just this area. So, but yeah, I love the building blocks that went into that. So so that's a nice one. But that's exactly what Niall does. He's relentless. He was unstoppable. He would do anything. He didn't have that thing. So, and if he was going to go for anybody, it would be for Logan. So.
Can we paint this as like a villain arc for Logan and just flash back to everything he did to that poor Niall, man? Good Lord. Who's the real bad guy here? Lots of arrows to the knees, tackling him off of buildings. Like, honestly, the guy was probably just trying to give you a hug and like whisper encouragement to you, and you just did so much bad stuff to him.
At that moment, Niall's wife comes along and his small child goes, "No, Daddy!" No. Okay, yeah. Logan, thankfully, your cloak moves you out of the way and prevented Niall's final attempt to do anything to you.
Give the cloak a few little scratches.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Cool. Everybody looks out and sees Logan basically stab Niall. This massive body and metalwork just hit the ground and Logan with ease.
Bo's gonna turn to Nelson, sees all that happen, because Logan calls our attention. I'm gonna turn to Nelson. Nelson, all of this is you're doing, from Cassera to Niall, and if you want to reconcile for this. Well, right now, Daggerford is in shambles. The council, or what do they call it?
Yeah, no, you're right.
They're in shambles right now.
Yeah, it was like the sheath and the belt. Yeah, that's it.
But also exactly. Who are they that they became, that they're all dead?
Oh yeah, well they're not all dead, but yeah, a couple of them are dead. Yeah, you got yeah, a couple of them are dead. You got True Storm's dead from Niall getting him at the ceremony where the miners had him kidnapped. You had the defense woman who just got her neck snapped by the Niall in costume. So yeah, yep.
If you need to, so there's no one here. There's very few to hold you accountable, if at all, and we need to leave this place and get out before it gets any worse. So if you want to reconcile, you need to come with us.
Okay. That sounds like a persuasion to me.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and try that. It is a 27.
It is a very, very compelling point. You have laid it on thick in terms of everything coming from the misguided actions of this man. And he basically looks at you and goes, "You're right. You're totally right, and I didn't mean for this to happen, but I didn't stop it, and I went along with it, and it was. I don't know if I can come with you, but I will try what I can to fix my mistakes, and I will face punishment after this. But
I know.
First, I think we need to resolve this later.
Yep, I know a good group that would gladly give you punishment for your actions.
Yeah, very good, very good. Okay, Claude, you're with Rickard. Rian and Tel are at the top of the stairs. Rian, probably this is sort of the first point you can kind of walk down and pick up the tentacles and sort of really investigate this, just so you have that and that action has been done. Logan has bravely killed a clockwork man assassin outside. Tommy, you are there near the back of the room with double guns, a new key, and a warm belly, a warm belly rub feeling. Anybody want to do anything at the moment before? I imagine we're going to step outside.
Call for Tobin.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tobin doesn't respond.
Oh man.
There's a couple calls for Tobin. Couple calls for Tobin, and nothing yet.
Tommy kind of seeing like that we're not going to be fighting the dad. Like it kind of looks like things are set. Like the conversations are kind of going. So Tommy sort of just walks past. He saw Logan go out and saw that little demonstration of him stabbing or whatever. So Tommy kind of walks out and like looks down, sees this, and like still hears that whole commotion, and finally like takes a look, alters the thing. And just the dump of emotion of everything that like of watching his kind of father figure die and everything. He just kind of sees this huge shit, and he just like his pistols he kind of puts his arms down the side. He's like, well, shit, and just kind of just accepts that holy, this huge thing is out here. Not calling back to everybody or anything. Just shit.
Tell me, as you step out the door, and you're basically this release of emotion. You get basically like pushed in the back, in the shoulder, like not like an attack, but like whoa, something pushes you a little bit harder than you expected. Okay. As you turn around, you see this massive green fist bump shape in front of you.
My man's back.
Yay! Basically turn around, and one of the first sort of the movement in the moment, and the racket and the kind of movement around, and as you came out and you had that release of emotion, you had this thing push you in the back, obviously stronger than it intended to, And when you turn around, you just see this big green fist like this right in front of you.
I like Tommy. Like I'm trying to. What's his name again?
He didn't have a name.
Okay, all right. Then I was like trying to look at my notes, but Tommy just like lights up, and he was like, "My man," and like goes right in for the fist bump.
Yeah. So basically, you take the fist bump. It has learned from the last time not to punch you back on the fist, so it just keeps its fist still.
Yeah.
So you don't take any damage from this as you go boom against him. So it doesn't hit you. It just stays there and you go boom of it. Okay?
And I'll call back to the room. The reinforcements have arrived.
And as you're going along, what happens as we are sort of playing along is you hear that whoosh as it goes along, and in the sky you see the massive forest dragon Danu in the sky. You can basically tell that if you were thinking about it, the thump thump hitting the ground was basically these guys dropping off his back and being like dropped in like paratroopers, as well as Aid climbing onto the port. So this is a lot of the commotion and the whoosh, and Danu is really high up in the sky with that there flying around. So you're starting to piece together what everything is happening, everything coming together and converging on Daggerford at this moment in time.
Nice. Like I said, Tommy just like called back in, like the reinforcements are here, and he has a bigger smile on his face after that shit that just went down in the house, that big fight. It's nice to see some people on our side instead against us all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I think on my side.
The big guy just boom squishes you. Yeah. Okay. So big guy with the fist bump comes along, and the shielded character also sort of comes along as well around the corner, basically either side of the sort of the building that you are. It's not like they knew you were in the house. They're in the area. That's where they got dropped off because it's near the port area. And yeah, so that's what you're sort of hearing. And Danu is now above the area. Logon, for example, if your attention eventually or whoever looks back towards the port, you can see Aid still climbing onto the dock area, this sort of concrete dock, and Cassera is striding just on top of the water towards it. And you can now see she looks up and sees Danu as well. Doesn't seem to be flustered yet. It's quite a distance away, so you can't really read her face, but it's not like she started doing that or anything. So cool. So Logan and Tommy are at the front door. Claude has got Rickard in his arms. Bo is still inside. Tell and Rian are on the stairs. What do you want to do? And if somebody says take a long rest, I'm going to very quickly deny that.
I mean, I'm out of spell slots.
I'd like to take an 8-hour long rest, and it's why a DM plans battles that are multi-stages, so that people don't think they're too easy for a TPK.
I'm gonna try one last thing to find Tobin, because I remember he liked chasing the Displacer kitten. I'm gonna cast Minor Illusion and see if he'll come out to chase a little Displacer kitten.
Yeah. As you basically kind of, the Displacer kitten appears in the house and runs around the house and goes out the front door and across the street and coming back, and you do hear across the street from where all the people were, and basically it was like a turned over cart that Tobin had sort of ran out into. Basically, the water came in and swept Tobin away. So the idea of the water coming in and coming out and coming in and coming out basically had brushed Tobin away. It's not like he was going, no. But basically, it had pulled him out into the street, and like there was like boxes and things that sort of been displaced and kind of moved on top of. So you're right, he is now rushing for this minor illusion, and he runs up to it and he catches it, but he goes through it. Tommy and Logan basically see this. Even the big green, the fist bumper, kind of just leans down and looks at the dog. The one with the shield and the spike hasn't seen this before, so he's like, this could be one of the enemies. He's pointing at Tobin.
Tommy's like, whoa, big guy. He's with us. And kind of Tommy gives a little like double clap. Come here, Tobin.
Rian's going to move towards the outside, hearing the barks.
Okay. So Rian is now joining Tommy and Logan at the front. Tobin's delighted to see Tommy. Really kind of awkward, weird about these two giant big green things there. Growls at the body of Niall, recognizing, then sees Rian and basically runs towards Rian as well. Yeah.
Okay. Is Bo's gonna go outside to follow? Yeah, we're gonna follow them outside. Is Danny like? Is he in? Like, is he at? Did he land?
Or no.
He's just flying through the air.
He's flying through the air. He's basically just circling the air. So I'll take that away just to remove that confusion. But he's up there now. Basically, when you obviously no one has said, "Hey, there's Danu up there." But basically, you walk out and you recognize these two big guys. You have an idea. You can look up and you can see Danu, basically making a big, like a large circle around the area.
Guys, I don't know what we can do about this. I think we're a little.
Take a long rest.
No, maybe we should just go.
I'm kind of tired. Think I'll go home now.
And the party walks off into the sunset.
And without the input of the party, we will never know how the world was changed. So yeah. Okay, cool. Rian, how's Tobin? Bo has reached the front door. Tommy has reached the front door. Logan's at the front door. Tell and Claude are the only ones still in the building at the moment. Claude, you still have Rickard in your arms, and Nelson's on the ground. So I'm going to come back to Claude in 1 second. Tell, are you sort of looking to just follow Rian, or is there something else you want to investigate or think about or check before you go?
I'll head towards the door. I'll let them have their family moment. I can see that.
Okay, cool.
Kind of tense. And I looked through my notes. I have written down that Larix is the tall branch head guardian and Azier is the brute.
There you go. No ticker. Love it. Love it. I was trying to trawl through those videos to find the point when I actually said those names, and I've so many notepads that I really should have just had a dedicated session notepad. So thank you very much. That is Azier, you said?
Azier, yeah.
Azier. And who was the branch one?
Larix.
Larix. Very good. Thank you very much. I'm definitely giving you a point of inspiration as a mechanic. Inspiration, because you gotta love another note taker. Thank you very much. So,
Teacher's pet.
Session 4.
Yeah. Teacher's pet says, role player over there. You were my father. So, yeah, love it.
Hey, Tommy, where's your inspiration dice?
Shut up.
Tommy got his advantage roll on the investigation. So that was his inspiration.
I rolled a 9 and a 7, and I have a -1 to investigation. Like I can't do nothing with advantage.
Well, just like Tommy with the revolver, you give Storm advantage, and it's like the amount of times like, is that with advantage? Is the trademark question to Storm?
Exactly.
So, yeah. Okay, cool. Tell, when you get to the front door, you're long lost. I'm only messing. But so yeah, you step out to the door. There's no Rusty here. There's no other parts of your backstory are here. Just in this magical moment of time, as it's turned out. So you get to step out at the moment.
I'll just sit with my arms crossed.
Yeah. But at that point, I know you walk out and you're the first one to go, oh, Aesir, Larix, wow, great to see you.
Oh, hey, I remember you guys.
Remember you guys? Yeah. Okay, cool. Claude. Family time. Tell us how you want to resolve this. Rickard's in your ear just going, he has to die. He has to die. He deserves to die. He has to die. He has to die. Come on, he has to die.
That's fuck. Okay. Claude's gonna think back to his Temple of Helm teachings. He's gonna look Rickard in the eye and tell him that's not the way this is done. Justice will be served. But right now, we have more to worry about. And he's gonna turn to the front door and just he's tells his father, he's like, you called me an oath breaker, but I'm gonna fix what you started. And he's gonna walk to where Niall is and kind of close his eyes and say a prayer, a prayer to Helm. And does Niall have his sword with him?
I have his machete. Bo has his machete.
You do have his machete, is correct.
That's right. I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember what weapon he was using. But either way,
Yeah.
he's just going to close his eyes and say that prayer.
Yep.
And I guess the focus right now should really be the
Yeah.
gods, fighting at the front of the town.
There's only one eye left that has an eyelid that you can close.
Yeah.
There's all the other meat patches on them sort of falling off and broke. So there's definitely like a very peaceful, like, sort of dislocated, and one of the eyes is open, and the other one's closed. So it's as peaceful as you're going to get him, with a clockwork on show and the dagger through the brain and one arm and no legs, and yeah.
Creepy. I'm going to tell Rickard.
Peaceful, but peacefully creepy.
I tell Rickard
Yeah.
that you need to tell them what was done here. Them being the authorities.
Yeah. Okay. So that's Rickard's there, and Rickard's inconsolable at the moment. The house, this home that you've grown up with, like the water damage is just everywhere at the moment, with this rushing in and out. The mantelpieces that had all the heirlooms on it, they're knocked over and they're destroyed. One of the mantelpieces was empty anyway because Rian's got a beautiful headpiece on her, which was causing trauma for a while. But she hasn't been having those headaches as much since her immediate melding with Kisera, because you can tell that that almost acted like the final piece of the puzzle of the confusion. It's like, fuck, okay, this is because that bit of information came in there. So Rian isn't as painfully distressed as she has been for most of the time you've known each other. And you can see her actually visibly happy a little bit, as much as Rian has been, because Tobin
got new trauma now.
Got new trauma. Yeah.
That's
collecting trauma as I go. Yeah. So first of all, it was undiagnosed trauma, and now it's very diagnosed. It's so diagnosed. It's it's amazing. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So Claude basically is leaving, and just Nelson is emotionally defeated. Rickard is devastated and inconsolable on the ground. Your home, which was very, very close to being burnt down earlier on, if it wasn't for a beautifully timed counterspell of a Hellfire Orb attack from Nelson Marcel earlier on. So you have Rian to thank for the house actually still standing. So you're all out there. Yep, sorry, Bo.
Real quick, I see Claude coming out and leaving his father and Rickard. Bo's gonna somberly, calmly walk over, pick up the Oathbreaker sword, and then take it and hand it to Claude and say, I think you're the one that deserves this badass sword.
That's closure right there.
That is closure. Love it. See, you know what's so awesome about this group? You almost get to the point of forgetting to give out inspiration dice because everybody's just fucking amazing. So it's one of those ones. So I just going to say to you right now, the reason you just don't get a lot of it is because you are all just consistently awesome.
So we should lower the bar so that we can surprise you later.
I wanted this.
I should just
thought about taking it myself, but
I should just keep throwing bigger and badder bad guys at just now, and just
throw some gods at us. Why don't you?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, cool. Speaking of gods, or what you believe to be gods, we're now all in the streets, are right at the front door. Claude's got a brand new sword, which I will definitely have to make a stat block for because I didn't think of somebody actually taking the sword.
What? You made it so epic sound. It was bright, glowing red.
I know.
Wait, he gets a stat.
I overlooked it. Okay.
Tommy again. Wait, he gets a stat block. What about the cool pistol I picked up off of Captain? No, I'm just playing. Pistol's a pistol. I'm not gonna be able to do anything with anyway. So
now I can miss twice.
Yeah,
twice.
Exactly.
Did Zane even shoot anybody?
No, Zane went to use Tommy's gun. The only shot you saw Zane go to take was with Tommy's gun, and he rolled a nat 1 and it exploded. So yeah,
that's right. That's good story. So we're all outside.
Outside, and what you can kind of see happening is, so off to the port side, you've got Kisera encroaching on the water. Aid is climbing up onto the mantle area, and the cannon fire is still firing onto the port area, and it's hitting Aid and knocking off chunks of the brickwork, etc. And not brickwork, the stonework on his body. Really particular, and I'm going to, there you go, just so the ship is pointing the right direction. Yes, I did wanted to make sure it was pointing at the monster. Okay, so yeah, so this is happening as well, and Kisera is basically encroaching towards the water, and she's just almost gliding towards the water's edge as this is happening. So use well with it.
Are Aid or Danu within 120 feet?
Oh, use are well down the street from each other. At this moment in time, you can see down the street from where the house was. It was a pretty decent walk, so you'd have to make a few strides before you get there. I see Logan is reconnecting at the moment, so we'll come back to him when he's ready. That's fine. So, one moment before it happens, so as this is firing, and from the air you hear one last whoosh, and then it stops in the air, and you look up, and crashing down, proper superhero landing, is Danu himself, right beside you guys. And he looks at Rain and he just goes, I thought I should get off my ass and take the advice of a wise Air Genasi. So, I'm taking responsibility for this. I don't know how this imbalance happened, but getting off my ass.
Yeah, about that imbalance, I'm not sure what's going on, but there's something very wrong with Kisera, and Rian's gonna take a moment to hand over the tentacles, because if anybody knows, and Jarvis isn't here, maybe he would.
Yeah. So Danu basically reaches down and takes the tentacles off, and he's looking at it, and he says, yes, it's a very, as nature, by its very nature, is all about balance. And we can see this combination of deformation and ugly manipulation of this body that was Kisera. Kisera is is bound to the water, but now she is land bound. And we can see in amongst this, there's the mixture of the water elemental, but there's also this other blood form that's in there, which has somehow created an instability amongst the nature in Kisera's favor. This wouldn't be the case for human or elf or dwarf because they have no power over the elemental. So I don't know what this is. It almost seems like an infusion of air, but I know that's not my sister in that, so I don't know how Kisera came into being with this air blood form within her system.
Brian's gonna share now what happened during that dreamwalks kind of sequence, and I think I've met Kisera before. I just didn't know who she was. And would I also kind of vaguely feel like maybe a magical signature of like that feels familiar as my own in that blood?
Yes. So when you're looking at that, you're thinking about the wound, that scar, that tentacle type scar that's on your clavicle. Basically, almost as the point where not only was it a slap and a scar, but it almost it like the sucker part of a tentacle almost sucked part of your blood out through it.
I think somehow that's my blood.
Danu looking down at you. He's thinking of the moment of the sass that you gave him, the disrespect that you showed him into the forest. But he goes, "Don't worry, my child. You were only trying to help. You were manipulated like everybody else in this sad charade of events. All we can do now is try to restore balance in any way that we can. We must remove as much of the Air Genasi blood from Kisera as possible to restore her to a purely water elemental based being, which will naturally reduce her powers closer in line to myself and Aid, and just bring a natural restoration to this. Will you help me?"
I'll do anything we can to take her down. Do you think there's some sort of connection still between us, some sort of bond, or is it she just has my blood?
My feeling is that your blood and the presence of your blood in her system has created the imbalance. I would have at some point expected a mental connection in there, but that would normally be highly destructive and highly disturbing for the individual. So I don't see that in you now.
She has spoken to me.
Yeah, but I did sense it when we met the first time. I didn't know what that was, but it makes a lot more sense now. You seem clearer of mind at the moment, and I think now we need to stop looking at the past and what has happened and what we have all done or not done in the past, and take action to restore the future.
So much for being kind.
Claude.
Never stop being kind, child. There's a reason. Kindness is the reason there is a forest. It's why trees remain and trees are protected even though other trees are cut down. It's the reason that trees are replanted and planted and cultivated and harvested. Never abandon kindness.
This forest needs to be culled.
That's like a restorative forest fire. Seems destructive on the surface, but actually is the greater good. Let's take action. Let's do what needs to be done. And he puts a very large hand just onto almost your shoulder, but it's big enough that it's like your shoulder and your head. And he goes, "Let go and regrow." he flies up into the air back into dragon form. So he's had that interaction. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead before he goes.
Yeah, before he goes, I'm gonna step forward and ask him.
Oh, fuck you, Claude.
No, I'm gonna tell him what my father told me, that the body she's wearing, it's the body of my mother. She's using it as a sort of a vessel. Is there any way to save her, to separate the two?
Can't guarantee to impact the body, to cause the blood loss is what we need to do. This has been a long time coming, so I don't know how much of your mother is actually still left in there, if any. The vessel is why she's able to get onto land. So this human form is why she can get onto land. So I hope for your sake, but I cannot hope to guarantee.
Promise me that if there's a way, we'll try it.
I can promise you that I will do everything that I can.
Tommy also steps forward and is kind of like, kind of pointing towards this big massive mountain and everything that I was like, and the ship's still firing. So Tommy's like, I might have a way to perhaps get the boat on our side. And he kind of looks at Dano. He's like, any chance you could help me out by taking me over there? Because it's probably the fastest way Tommy's going to be able to actually get to that ship.
Correct. Absolutely. And in that moment, your friend Aesir basically picks you up, puts you onto his shoulder. So basically, it's almost like a 3-year-old being given a lift by their dad. So your kind of legs are wrapped around his head, sitting on that there, and he is ready to go if anyone has anything else they want to say. But basically, he's going to rise up, and you're going to be riding the back of this dragon's neck.
Tommy kind of like yells as we go. Tommy yells down, "I'll send a signal if this works." And like he's trying to look cool, but he's scared as shit as he's about to lift off on this thing. So he's like you can see his face is kind of white, but
yeah. Does anyone want to provide Tommy with backup?
Oh hell yeah! I want to ride on a dragon's back.
You want to ride the dragon's back? Logan's going with.
Yeah,
Logan,
you're not going anywhere without us.
Tommy also makes it very clear that this may not work. Like Tommy is trying to do this to clean up after what the Captain Zane did, but he's very much aware that he might not get this crew on his side, and this could be a kind of a death mission just for the other people that are jumping on the back. Tommy's not fully convinced he can do this or not.
Buddy,
should we invade together?
This whole thing's been a death mission, a suicide mission. We got your back, though.
Okay.
This whole thing, you mean this thing that started in the caverns fighting off some small fake rats? It's always been a death mission, has it?
that was a party mission. That was a drinking mission.
That was only 2 to 3 weeks ago. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. So we've got Tommy. We've got Bo wanting to basically get onto the dragon as well. Logan's ready to jump at any moment. If it means he thought at one stage the best he could do was jump onto a roof, and now there's a chance to jump onto a dragon. In a game called Dungeons and Dragons. Just need a good dungeon. Okay, cool. Tell or Rain or Claude, any of you guys want to stay on the ground? Do you all want to go to the ship? What's your sort of thought process at the moment?
I guess riding the dragon will get us there faster, and it's probably better to stay together than separate at this point with 3 gods in the region.
Yeah,
so I'll come along.
I'm just
We'll
doing
have the
whatever
high
will
ground,
be safest
Anakin.
for Tobin.
Well, that's what I was wondering is if the other smaller not God guys, if they were going to be making I didn't know the plan if they were going to be making like an attack at Cassera and the mountain guy, if half the team should be there on that attack and me trying to go get the boat for like almost attacking from two sides kind of situation.
So you get the feeling that when Danu's about to fly up, you get the feeling that these guys have Aesir and Larix, they've been planted on this side for that purpose as well. So they're definitely going to be a ground assault towards Cassera, even if it's just to buy time or whatever. They're very much going to be a head-on attack. Aid, then even the way that Danu was talking, Aid is there as well to help restore this as well. So he's very much encroaching on Cassera as well. All of them know that Cassera has a significant advantage because she has these meldings of two elements that are creating a significantly more powerful version, as opposed to the even balance of all four elements, kind of not really being able to defeat each other individually. Okay, cool. So what's the thoughts in terms of we've definitely got Tommy, Bo, and Logan on the dragon. Claude, Rain, and Tell, are you thinking stick with the ground forces or also go to the ship?
I'll go to the ship. I think I'll go with them.
Yeah, I'll also go to the ship because I need water for my electricity to be extra effective.
There we go. All right, Claude, you just stay here by yourself.
I'm gonna go take a long rest, guys.
Go sort your family shit out.
You gotta do a very like Lord of the Rings charge at the enemy by yourself moment. So your father, and your brother just go rush at him.
I'll give Rickard one last embrace before we go and tell him we'll fix this, but first, we need to deal with the town. First, we need to save the town.
Just don't kill Rickard.
I'm trying not to, unless he turns on me.
No,
Can you send Rickard to gather some of our other friends, like Jarvis and
Rusty?
Rusty, yeah. Like, let them know what's going on.
Does he know any of them? Have we all been together?
That's the thing.
But can we send them to the tavern that they were last at, maybe, and they can?
Yeah,
he can maybe send them a message.
You can at least describe them. Yeah, you can at least describe them.
Okay. Tell them we have allies at the tavern, and describe them. See, to head down. I guess meet at the dock. Or at least inform them of what happened.
Why don't me and Tommy and whoever else is going to the ship go to the tavern first, and then grab them and head through?
3 hours later, you're drunker. There's something I'm supposed to tell you. Oh shit! It's a glass out there.
Something about a fight. Something.
Yeah. So you feel that Jarvis is at the tavern. Rusty's near the tavern. You've got Beauregard as well in the tavern. So you know there's a couple of people there potentially.
If you could at least get word to one, they can probably spread it to the others, and
they can make a decision on their own. There's not enough time. They're adult adventurers.
Later on, you just see them all running out of town in the opposite direction. We decided to run.
Fuck that.
I mean, I wouldn't blame them.
I'm not being bullied into a fight. Yeah. So yeah. None of us are level 5. Yeah. None of us are level 5. Let's go. Okay. Yeah. Sweet. Okay. So everybody's swooping on top of a dragon. As you can see, the skin of the dragon is basically like sharp bark. When I say sharp bark, it's more like it's into a point as opposed to prickly along the way. So basically, everybody's kind of along the back here of its neck as this is swooping and it's building up around him. So everyone's basically grabbing onto a tree branch and as it's going there. Okay. At this moment, you have a opportunity to get Danu to dash towards the ship, which will get you there one turn faster. If you do that, everybody will have to do a strength-based check to hold on. But you can do spells and actions to help each other. Okay? Aid is taking a lot of damage from these cannons, and Kisera is continuing to stride towards the water. Do you, as a team, as a group-based skill check, dash to the ship on top of this forest dragon, or take the extra turn and the extra damage that Aid is going to take by not rushing to the boat?
I'm down to dash.
What's the worst that could happen?
Oh, so much.
Dive and dash.
Okay, so we've got one vote for dash.
I vote for Dash. Bo is
dash.
Bo's Dash.
Hey, Logan's a thrill seeker. Yeah, we're gonna dash.
Logan for 3.
If I add Gust under his wings, will it be like a dash squared?
If you do a dash, yes.
We'll go for it.
What you will have to consider, Ryan, just before you do the spell, is that you're holding Tobin.
Yeah, I'm just agreeing to the dash right now.
We'll see what happens.
Okay, we got 4 dash. We got 4 dash. Tommy.
Oh, it's Tommy's idea, so yeah, I have to dash.
Okay, and Tell, you on board for a dash?
Sure.
Okay, very good. I have 6 characters rolling to stay on the dragon. Okay? Everybody's going to roll a d20. Okay?
Strength based.
Combined, and these are straight rolls. Well, no, actually, there's strength modifiers, right? So there's strength modifiers, right? Across the 6 of you, you must equal at least 60 points.
Jesus Christ.
Can I use...
Okay, which is basically 10 each, okay? But you've got your strength modifiers.
I don't have a strength modifier.
That's me neither.
I don't have one either.
I'll modify for you.
Are we allowed to use the inspiration that we got?
Of course. Yes.
All right, cool. And then...
And for that, and because that's the thing I said earlier on, and because I really like this, and I love the idea, everybody gets an inspiration dice. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. You got D6.
And yep. So that's a D6. That's a D6 added to whatever.
Everybody's got a D6. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
Everybody's been awesome and done something inspirational. He's got on this super cool plan to go on a dragon, to go onto a boat. I need a total that equals at least 60. And what I would like people to do, if possible, is I would like you to text me your number on WhatsApp so that I will tell you the result, and as opposed to you counting them up together.
Can I just say what my
you can't
6
tell.
dice roll, inspiration roll was? Dang it. I had a joke for that. I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you. Write that joke down, please.
Okay. Okay, I have 1 score in.
Oh wait, I have it right here on the computer. I was like pulling it up.
2 scores in. I have 3 scores in. I have 4 scores in. I have 5 scores in. And I have 6 scores in. Okay.
I did my part.
I did my part.
I didn't do shit.
And I helped.
Wait,
okay.
Radishing. I miscounted.
Uh-oh.
Double check my messages.
Ooh.
He had a plus 20 that roll.
Okay. Okay. Good. Claude, that's potentially going to make a huge difference.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Oh no. Me as the player regrets my decision so bad. Tommy is so for it though. Tommy is about it.
Okay. So let's go through some of the key results and see who helped and who did not help.
Rude.
As the party, we're joking. As the party dash. Okay. So we had only one person scored above 20.
Dang.
There was a 21 in there.
That's already 30% right there.
Yeah.
Good job to that person.
Person scored a 7, which evens that out. There's a 21 and there's a 7. Another person scored a 10.
That's
The other party members got 18, 12, and 17 for a score of 85.
Yeah.
The party holds on to the dragon. And Tobin successfully has held on to the dragon as well in Rian's arms as Danu flies towards the ship. Tommy, give Danu instructions. How do you want to sort of interact with it? What do you want Danu to do?
Yeah.
He's up high at the moment, so he's basically above the ship. The ship is focusing completely on hitting it.
Tommy's like yelling over the wind. He's like, head towards the ship, and if you could like drop us off on the ship, that'd be great. Maybe help me out by just being there. They're not gonna be ready for a dragon. And Tommy in his head is picturing just like kind of like being on the ship with a dragon, just kind of like very Game of Thrones esque. That just the presence of having a dragon behind you makes you look a little bit bigger.
Okay, fantastic. So you're basically swooping around, okay, and the part of the dragon with imposing his presence not only distracts a lot of the crew members, so not as many cannons are firing, okay, but the sheer force of the wind of his wings is also knocking some of the cannon fire off course. So the Aid himself has not been hit with as much cannon fire as expected, okay, which is fantastic. You look to the ocean, and one of Aid's claws comes straight down towards Cassera, and Cassera envelops the bottom of the claw in that sphere of water that she had. So she takes a bit of damage. It does crash through the water, but it does deflect a lot of the damage. So she's taking a hit from Aid, and she's basically making a beeline for the edge of the water. Okay, so you've got to the ship. There's a little bit less cannon fire. They're missing. They're being distracted. Tommy, there was only so much instruction you actually gave to Danu. You basically said, get us to the ship and drop us off. Mm-hmm. And the wings are battering that down. Okay. Who wants to stay in the dragon and who wants to jump down onto the ship?
I mean, I'm definitely a shipper.
Or Tommy, are you going to try to speak to people from the ship, from the boat, or what are you trying to do?
Yeah, so I guess again yelling against the wind. Tommy's just kind of saying his idea is I'm going to show them that the captain is dead and try to take over the ship. I don't know if the crew will be with me or not, and just kind of leave it like that as far as like everyone. Basically, Tommy's leaving it to everybody else. If you want to come down, I don't think it's going to go well. It might not go great, but this is what I'm trying to do to get the ship on our side.
Tommy, do you see anybody specific you recognize that's like high ranking on this ship? Like a second mate or anything? No?
Zane kind of ruled with an iron fist. It was his ship and everyone was the crew of the ship. There wasn't a ladder or a system of second, third, fourth mate.
A corporate ladder.
Yeah,
I hope you get a promotion this year.
HR is on the lower desk, but that's the lower deck. But that's no. So I see crew that I recognize. Yeah, but there's no.
It sounds like you're gonna have to go at this in kind of like a dominating fashion. I mean, if that's how Zane was, it sounds like you're gonna have to take the shit.
That's why I'm kind of hoping the dragon helps me a little bit. I have an idea.
I'll try to come down. I'll come down and help be there with you.
Yeah,
Hopefully
I'll jump to the deck with Tommy.
We can convince him.
So if you've ever seen a video of a dog like hanging on a branch trying to pull it off, that's what Tobin is doing at the moment on the back of Danu's neck. It's spinning around. That's the way he's holding on at the moment. Okay. Rian, not to turn your job into dog babysitter, it is the downside of companions. You gotta figure out where they are and what you're gonna do. So I think most people said they were going to jump down onto the ship. Rain, what do you want to do? Tobin looks like he's secure on the dragon, but would you actually want to leave him on the dragon?
No, I'll come down too. I'll use my quarterstaff as a distraction and let him bite onto that instead, and kind of tug with him.
Love it. Yeah. Tobin looks around. Rain's got a stick. He loves a stick. Stick. You gonna throw a stick? Yeah. And he's following you, absolutely no problem. So he basically jumps into your arms and he's kind of gnawing on the quarterstaff. Okay, cool. The ship have all stopped firing now because there's this dragon in the area, and you guys are jumping down onto the ship. There's enough of a space is cleared at the back of the ship, like on the other side of the cannons. They've all backed off because there's this dragon encroaching on them at the moment. So it's not a difficult jump, but I am going to ask everybody to roll basically an acrobatics check to land onto the ship. And I need you to beat a 7 to not fall on your face. It's not a difficult roll, but it's still not. It's not like going down some stairs.
Can Logan
12
try
for
to
me.
jump into a crow's nest?
You can indeed, yep. You can jump to a crow's nest if you want to. That's a spell for you, isn't it? Jumping up.
Jump.
Do I need that? Or, I don't know, are we like still in the air, and are we like perched on the back of the ship, or?
Oh well, if you're landing on the ship and then you might have to climb up it, or you could jump up
Okay.
it. But
I was hoping I could just jump straight into the crow's nest from the dragon. But, that might be a difficult jump.
so the dragon basically he kind of came down towards the deck of the ship. So
Okay.
Yeah, he's a little bit
if
bigger
you
than
want,
the ship, so he can't land on it.
if you want like on the way down, you do a jump. But your jump is going to be more difficult unless you're using the spell jump. Do you want to use the spell jump, or do you just want to
I will
jump?
use the spell jump.
Use the spell jump. Okay, so keep track of that spell. So basically, as it's on the way down, Logan's like, "Watch this!" First time everyone sees this unnaturally high, majestic jump, and basically lands up in the crow's nest.
What are we rolling
Okay.
for again? What was the roll?
Acrobatics, because it's basically to kind of land on your feet and not
They'll
on your
get
face.
14.
Claude got an 8.
14. And yet, Claude just and all his armor just barely lands. Tommy?
Crashed
9.
through the deck.
Tommy with a 9. Very good. Very good.
10.
I'm glad I didn't pick 10 because that was going to be my guess for the rolls. But I made it a bit easier because you had the advantage. Okay, Rain with the 10. Tell.
12.
Well, okay, everybody lands on the ship. The whole crew have backed off away from you. You can basically see almost like a semicircle backed away from you. So if you're up at the top, they're kind of like in a semicircle away from you at the bottom, towards this side. If you look at the picture, so they're all backed up against the cannons, but the cannons aren't firing anymore. You've jumped up onto this side of the ship, and Logan's up here.
So as we land, Tommy steps forward, and like he has the rapier of Captain Zane, and he has a pistol, and he holds him up, and he says, "Captain Zane and his evil ways are done." And the pistol that he's holding, the part that the butt that you hold is wooden, and it's actually carved into a boar's mouth, that like an open boar's mouth. So the whole crew recognizes the pistol right away as being Captain's, and he doesn't go anywhere without it. So the fact that I have it is pretty impressive. And he's like, and
he certainly wouldn't give it to Tommy of all people voluntarily. Yeah,
exactly.
Should have brought the head.
So, gosh, just a dripping head. But yeah, but I think the pistol with the dragon behind me might be enough. And so he's like, I'm trying to think. So, nah.
No, go on, say it, because it's not like there's a super concrete backstory. We're just As
Yeah.
long as you're happy enough to go. Do you remember the God Killer weapon we have on the ship? Yeah, it's
No.
not like that.
No, no.
level of improv.
No,
You
no.
know, it's like yeah.
So yeah, basically I say is
Don't worry,
that
I'm actually prepared for this.
there was let's see. So I say he's dead, and basically I'm like, we didn't all see eye to eye, and I kind of look around and know that the ship was somewhat divided last time I was on it, of people that were on Zane's way of doing the evil
Yes,
side,
there was.
and
Yeah,
the people
yeah.
that weren't. So I was like, but our issues are bigger than what this ship is and what he brought to this. And I point towards the huge ass fucking crab fight thing that's happening on the deck, and I was like, and basically I say, we're united in stopping what she is, and basically she's just a orb of water at the moment because of the fight that's going on. But she can destroy the world, or what we all actually
Yeah.
care about more than anything.
One kind of dopey crewmate goes, how do you know the Volcano Mountain's a girl? We're already firing on her.
Oh, sorry. I was. I guess I was pointing to the water sphere. The thing creating the water is the problem.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Okay, I get you. I get you.
We have to.
No need to apologize. I'm just saying, like, that little bit of context. That
Yeah.
like, we were already shooting at the mountain.
No.
How do you know it's a girl?
Yeah, no, yeah. I actually wasn't even thinking that of the mountain itself. We need to shoot at the smaller one, not the mountain. This dragon is on our side. If you're with me, if not, then no one can have the ship. And I kind of insinuate that with the dragon being on my side, I'll take the ship down if they're not with me. So
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful.
Just look tough. Just look
Yeah.
tough behind Tommy.
That's exactly it, because that's going to lead to our next group intimidation check.
Oh, we
Everybody's
got
get to
this.
It's our
everybody's
time
going
to
to
shine.
everybody's going to get to roll with advantage because there is a big ass dragon behind you as well.
that's what I was hoping for.
Intimidation.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, natural 20 plus 7.
Well,
21.
Blood.
That's so yeah. We've already got a 27, a 21,
I got a nat
13.
22.
and that
Plus
20
4.
as well. This is the most badass looking crew in the world. This crew is trembling, and we're just going, sorry, we didn't mean to fire the cannon at her. Still pointing at the mountain, assuming everyone's assumed it's a her because Tommy said her, and they're all confused and scared in the dragon. And yeah, so they're all on board now. They're like, okay, well, what do we do? What do we do?
I just picture a perfect moment of someone snapshotting us group, put it on front of a CD, parental advisory, kind of like we're just looking badass. Put us on a poster. But no, Tommy just reinforces that this ship is now ours together, and our enemy is the smaller water creature over there.
Yeah,
not the mountain, not this dragon. Together, we got to stop
Nice.
that. And immediately gives commands to turn cannons, or to turn the ship more at an
Just aim
angle,
in the cannons. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
using the proper boat lingo that I don't truly know, but
it's
yeah. But
Yeah.
I say it, I call it out, and I then say we to prepare the cannons and everything, and then hold fire. And I'll look up at Danu, and I'll say,
yeah.
whenever you're ready, we are. Kind of letting him lead whatever this is about to be.
So Logan, in that moment when you're way up high on the crow's nest and you've got the wind blasting of the dragon's wings, you have no idea what Tommy just said. You saw a lot of gesticulating, all the arms moving, and you just hear. You've no idea what's been said. Nobody's done anything. They're all kind of standing still at the moment, but you look super intimidating up in the crow's nest. But you're not getting quite as much attention as you thought you would because there is a big ass dragon. So you look super intimidating, but no one's really looked at you because you're quite high up.
That's fine. I'm just up there with my bow drawn, but not shooting.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic.
Trying to be
Fantastic.
intimidating.
Okay. Cool. Danu will basically get Tommy's attention and everyone's attention. And he goes, "You have done well, my friends. Now, try to keep your distance. Do what you can. Your support we will be grateful for. But now I must go and do what I can." So he's looking at that. Basically, any sort of moment for a mini reaction from anybody before he's going to sort of swoop away. So, yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Danu's like backing down, right? As you look towards the coast, Danu's backing out. Aid is there, and he's still trying to fight away at Kisera. And you see bigger than Kisera in the distance, two perspective, green individuals running towards Kisera as well. One of them has a shield, and one of them big and bulky. You can tell is Aesir and Larix, and they're basically charging down on Kisera. And Danu's making his way there. In that moment, Kisera has been making her way towards the edge of the water, and she, in looking to escape another attack from Aid, dives into the water.
Uh-oh.
The rumbling of the water, the true form of Kisera rises up into the port. She had to get off the land. You've got Aid on the ground there. You've got your Aesir and Larix, and you've got Danu all trashing about, and you've now got the cannon, the boats with the cannon under your control. Okay. In that there, Danu's flying around, and you can see Danu and Aid. They're not really part of your sort of initiative or sort of combat, but basically they're either throwing like rocks and trying to swoop in and scratch and claw at Kisera, this huge form, this really light blue color of hers, because it's normally that deep ocean blue, but of course with the air element in it, that she looks like a lighter blue in that, and she's kind of shrugging off most of the attacks, or at least they're having a bit of an impact, but you can tell she's been able to take a lot of damage as it goes along. Okay. And it's up to you guys in terms of what you want to do strategy-wise, what you want to aim for, how you want to sort of assist this ultimate battle that's happening. But you get the feeling as well, because when you look at Kisera, you can see that the tentacle parts sort of still cut off on this side, and there's still a bit of bleeding happening there as well, or a bit of damage there. So you have had an impact on this thing, and it is still a little bit weaker. It even looks a little bit smaller than what you remembered at Shellborg whenever you saw the ultimate water attack. But you can kind of see her building up this attack, and the water swelling around her. And you get the feeling that in time it's going to be unleashed on Daggerford, especially in the direction of Aid as the volcanic mountain.
Can I do perception check to see if they're... You said she's preparing an attack, kind of?
Yeah.
So how is she preparing? Like, can I do a perception check to see how she's actually preparing that? Like, is she... I don't know.
So she's in the water, and so you can kind of see with the the claws here and the web and all. So it's almost like kind of like her arms sort of rising up, and the water in front of her is swirling almost like into a whirlpool. And with what happened in Shellborg, that whirlpool will sort of almost kind of build up from that, and then that'll become the force that's charged and smashed towards the city of Daggerford.
I'm gonna take command of these of the guns, and I'm gonna go and go down to where the cannons are on the lower side of the deck, and I'm gonna tell them aim for her arms. That's where she.
Yep.
And then,
perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Also, as an inspiration, I'm going to play a battle hymn.
Nice. Nice.
To kind of help the crew keep in beat, in line.
Excellent.
Engaged.
Every single member of the cannon crew you know, even with your own experience, Bo, of being on ships and decks, and like, you know, sailors respond well to this music as both as an inspiration for morale, but also for tempo, because you know cannons and things like that. It's all very much, you know, open cannon in gunpowder. It's very it looks like it's chaotic, but there's a lot of and your tune, your music is helping them keep the rhythm of that. So that's basically that's increasing their rate of fire that they have as well as keeping morale up on the ship for the moment. Okay, fantastic. So basically, this cannon fire is bashing off, and every so often, you know, a couple more hits than maybe you'd expected because of the distance and because of the turbulence. Basically, the swell of the water is making it difficult to aim as well, but still a few hits more than you had than if you'd have done nothing are hitting Kisera. Yeah, so it is having a positive impact on that.
Is she within 120 feet? I imagine with cannon fire potentially.
Yep.
Okay. Rand's gonna send another message to Kisera, and thinking of Niall's tortured screaming inside of his mind, send all of the screams of her kinsman that she's been hearing in her trauma and add her own scream into Kisera's mind to try to distract her from this spell.
Excellent. In that moment you send this message, and everybody else looking on is seeing Kisera swell up this attack, and for no reason whatsoever, as far as they're concerned, without this information, Kisera's head just flails up into the air and goes red, and she's, you know, the swell of the water, not only Bo with aiming at the arms, has disrupted the speed of this attack being generated. This has temporarily paused it and interrupted it at the moment as well. So this attack that's been building and going through multiple stages before it gets unleashed on Kisera, basically with a time-based element to that. This power, this frustration, this trauma is inside Kisera's head, and she knows exactly the direction that this message is coming from. And in the water, just this massive sea dragon just turns around and looks straight at the ship.
Shoot her!
So boom, 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 more cannon fire. With Bo's tempo-based, morale-boosting music, the increased rate of fire is really slowing down Kisera as it goes through. But she's still making progress towards the ship. As we know, with the distance as well, she's only about 120 feet away, so she's making her way there pretty swiftly at the moment. Danu, at the moment, is kind of swirling around. You can see him every so often dive bombing in and hitting attacks and trying to hold off as much as he can. But he goes back towards the land for the moment, and you can see him for a very brief moment, like looking at Aid. So he's looking at Aid, the volcanic one. You can tell for a moment they're having like a conversation. You don't have a lot of time to look at it because Kisera is encroaching on you, but you can see this brief moment of disruptive movement from him.
Claude's gonna fire off a pair of Eldritch Blasts, I guess.
Yep, fantastic. Anywhere in particular you want to aim for?
She's a pretty big target. I guess the face would do the most damage, right?
Yep.
I roll those separately, right?
Yep.
Okay. 22 for the first one and 12 for the second.
Okay. 22, because you were aiming for the face, hits the face. Okay. She's unarmored. She's basically a huge target. It's quite hard to miss her. It's about how much damage you actually do. So the 22 does hit her in the face. The 12 hits, but it's off target from the face, and it hits one of the tentacles at the side of her head. And that's the one that seems to cause a little bit of a jolt on her head. So yeah, so
like
two
Eldritch
Blasts
reaction.
Yeah, visible. It's like the one in the face hits her in the face and explodes in the face, right? And the one in the tentacle causes a little bit of movement that you don't think is the water pushing her from side to side. There's no scream. It's not a huge amount of pain. It's almost more like Imagine somebody had like a gunshot wound and you can like pushed it where someone had stitches. This one, like they're trying to hide it. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
4
What's
for
the
damage on both.
Yep. 4 for damage. Okay, fantastic. Cool. Keeping this as we're going along. Fantastic. Right. Let's go. So we've got Logan. So Rain's done an action. Bo's doing his action with his music. Claude's done a bit of an action. We've got Tommy. We've got Tal as well and Logan for actions.
Go ahead, Logan.
All I can think to do is just shoot a couple arrows at the tentacles on her head. That's all I got.
That's it. You know, sometimes that's the play. You know, not everything is a triple dive with a with a perfect landing, and you know, sometimes you gotta hit something.
So I'm gonna shoot for 2 separate tentacles. It's 22 for one. 16 for the other.
Fantastic. Can you give me damage, please?
7 for the first.
Yep.
7 for the second.
Excellent. Basically, a third tentacle is becoming a little bit less. You get the feeling when you look at the tentacles, like they are kind of like, you know, a unified movement in it. These 2 over here have been damaged, and basically a third one, like over here, is starting to get a little bit sort of wobbly. You know, it's a little bit uncoordinated from the other ones. You can tell it's taking a bit of damage and it's a little bit less reactive when it comes to that. Okay, cool. Logan, do you want to do any movement? Do you want to stay up high?
I'm staying in the crow's nest.
I knew the answer, but I want to give you the chance. Fantastic. Cool. Tommy, and then we'll go to Tal.
So the group has never seen Tommy so much in his element. I don't really have an action. Can I give a help action to the cannons if that would increase the chance of them hitting or anything like that? But Tommy's very much going back and forth with rapier out, pistol in the other hand. He's like, come on, you salty sea dogs, you want to live through another day? Put your backs into it, fire those cannons. And he's like very much in charge of like very stepped up into a leadership role that the group doesn't normally see, and he's just back and forth, just yelling commands / insults, because that's how pirates talk to each other. Like, just like, what is it, your grandmother loading these damn things? Fire those cannons, kill that thing, and just like back and forth across the whole deck, just like striding.
Yeah. One of the other ways you're sort of experienced on the boat, as well as Bo has shown up, is that your sea legs are very evident. Even though the ship is rocking and the water is moving, Bo hasn't lost any tempo on his boat, on his tune. You know, he's basically keeping himself balanced. You're balanced. Claude, Rain, Logan, even up on the thing, Tal, a little bit more shaky with their movement. If there were movement distances to be involved here, they would be a little bit reduced. Tell a little bit less because he has some experience on boats as well, but you're not really moving, and because you're basically because you're not fighting the crew, you're not worried about movement distances, so it's great. Okay, fantastic. Tell, any ideas what you would like to do next?
I would like to cast what's everyone? I stepped away to go to the bathroom, but what's everyone shooting at her with?
What's everybody doing? Yeah.
Screams.
What y'all doing?
Yeah.
With their favorite trauma.
Are we shooting cannons, or everybody using their weapons?
Weapons.
Got some cannon fire, but we've got weapons and spells as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll cast a 3rd level bless on everybody.
Nice.
What does that do again?
What does the 3rd level element of it do? Yeah.
Just it increases the targets. So everybody, I'll bless all 5.
Okay.
Everyone else.
Oh, beautiful.
And we get advantage to attack rolls. Was that it?
Yes. Whenever a target makes an attack roll or saving throw, before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to attack roll or saving throw.
Got it.
Excellent. And with that, basically with everyone sort of having a little bit of a turn now and a lot of this sort of action happening, it's very much a combat at the moment, so I'm going to ask for an initiative roll now that everybody can then use for their bless going forward.
Oh, I like the makeshift initiative. Everybody doing their thing.
So did I, and then I thought some rules lawyer out there is probably they haven't rolled initiative yet, so might as well bring in some of the mechanics.
12
20 for Claude.
Logan.
Claude 20. Logan, did you say a number?
12.
12. Okay.
16 for Bo.
16 for Bo.
Damn, that's a low initiative roll for you, Logan.
I don't know. Usually 72 on initiative.
Right?
The way his dice rolls goes, yeah.
I'm usually
Tommy,
going
Rain, and
last.
Tell.
2 for Tell.
2 for Tell.
10 for Rian.
7 for Tommy.
Tommy. Okay, fantastic. Right. Okay. So, Kisera basically right up at the top of the initiative order for this one is basically closing the distance on this, and one of the first things she's going to do is a slash attack across the front of the cannons. So it's basically she's going to be able to attack at like the right hand side of the cannons. So it's going to hit on that, and I'm going to ask everybody to roll a dexterity saving throw to stay on your feet, otherwise you're going to go prone, and therefore part of your action the next time will have to be to get up.
You guys get a +4, remember. Well, not a +4, roll D4 because of
Yep.
blitz.
Oh, good. Oh, thank God.
And that's not just a one-time use. It's whenever we roll a saving or attack, we just get to keep adding a D4,
Yeah,
Isn't
because
it
of bless is like time
like a
based.
concentration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It lasts for up to 1 minute, but
Yeah,
depends on
you-
how long you want
You
that
can
to
imagine this sort of fight with the sheer ferocity of it, and the fact that you're on a wooden ship compared to a sea dragon. A minute's a hell of a long time to be fighting it.
Yeah.
To be fighting it. Most fights, as you can imagine, don't last a minute. So yeah.
21 for
Bo
Claude.
is 20.
Cool. So rather than everyone sort of giving their scores, anybody who had, tell me if anybody got less than 10. Nope, everybody got less than 10. Cool. Stumbled, the ship takes a bit of a rock. You lose about a quarter of the cannons on the right hand side. A couple of men have fallen overboard. There's a real massive dent in the ship at the moment. So you've got decreased weapon fire. You've been able to keep your men going. Morale's dropped a little bit. Bo, I'm going to ask you for a concentration because basically you're keeping a song
Yeah.
going, which will help morale.
You stink.
That's a 6.
Okay, you briefly lose your tune, and the guys are starting to freak out a little bit. You know, if unless you can kind of get the morale back, you know, you might see guys kind of jumping overboard the far side and abandoning the cannons. So something that's going to have to be managed as a crew for you guys. Okay,
Got it.
cool. Claude, you're up. 20.
Oh, I'm not used to being first. I'm gonna jump and grapple the dragon. No, I'll cast it.
To be honest, I'll take that over seduce the dragon.
Oh, what do you think I'm gonna do once I'm grappling her?
Oh man, yeah.
Whisper sweet nothings.
All right,
Wow,
so
this
I'm
just turned
gonna.
into a weird Oedipus.
Just whisper, just try to deceive me. Go, Rain's just being dramatic.
Good girl, good girl.
Calm down,
All right.
brother.
And I'm gonna aim these at the tentacles.
Yes.
At least what's damaged. So that's
Yep.
a 23 for the first blast and
Run.
a 4 plus 26 for the second one.
Okay, fantastic. They're both going to hit. Claude, as you're using these Eldritch Blasts, you're basically tapping more and more into that Warlock element. There's a very low, dull voice that's starting to build up in the back of your head.
Fuck.
Okay, because you're basically tapping in and using these things that are not very Paladin-esque. So
Yeah.
you are using a resource almost of sanity that I'm making up for you at the moment.
I wasn't
but
using that anyway.
Yeah, you are using that anyway. Yeah. So basically, the more and more you're using these Warlock parts as a Paladin, is having an impact on you. Never mind the stress of the situation.
Fair
Okay,
enough.
cool. Right off the things, the tentacles. This third tentacle is basically about to break off. It looks like it, as you're sort of focusing fire on that, especially with those very high rolls. You're not just hitting any old tentacle. You were aiming at a specific tentacle that had been damaged, so you get that hit. Okay.
The first blast will be a 9.
Yep.
Of force damage.
Excellent.
The second one is a 10.
Oh, actually, that is enough to break it off. Cool. So more blood should be creeping out from that there. What you do notice a little bit is, and you're not quite sure if it's perspective messing with you or the water, but Kisera shrunk a little bit. You're not quite sure if it's perspective or it moved or whatever, but definitely weakened a little bit. Because she is significantly larger than Aid, even the moving mountain, and Danu in this form. So she's getting a little bit closer to kind of their normal size. Is what you perceive to be happening. Whether that's real or perspective, I don't know, but that's what you're kind of noticing at the moment. And everyone else kind of sees it as well, because it's not like you're distracted by something else in this world. You're all staring at Kisera. You can see there's nothing really pulling focus from Kisera at the moment, so you're all kind of noticing this. Okay.
I'll just use my free action to reinforce to the party. I'll be like, the tentacles seem to be a weak spot.
Finally, some communication.
What you're seeing here, there's about 8 or sort of 9 tentacles on this thing, and you guys have damaged 3 of them at the moment. But you can see the amount of damage that she's doing at the moment. So you're gonna have to sort of take that in consideration. It's not like you've got like an hour to keep pinging away at these things, you know. And never mind, you are rolling really well for now. Okay, cool. Claude is there. Bo, you're up. 16.
Terrific. All right, so I'm gonna listen to Claude and take a note from Tommy's inspirational speech from last turn, and I'm going to make it a double, and I'm gonna cast Calm Emotions onto the cannon crew or just the crew in general that kind of believes that they'll be, because it's
like morale. Yeah, you're looking.
Yeah, well,
looking.
Causing frighten. So, and if they're about to turn tail and run, I'd like to prevent that.
Well, in that moment, you hear jealous.
Yeah.
So I'd like you to roll a 2d8, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of thought about using my words too.
Use your words.
Yeah, you too.
I used my spells instead. 12.
Well, oh, okay, very good. All you hear is, "Let's dance!" And everybody's morale is lifted, but while they're doing the cannon fire, their feet are going like crazy. They are basically tap dancing and Irish dancing and jigging. So they're all doing their actions, but they're manically dancing while doing this. So it has worked. It has worked, but you can see their eyes are super confused because they're like, "Oh, okay." It's basically like a happy feet type thing. So it's worked. It just worked very, very differently to what you expected it to.
Well, as long as they're not frightened anymore, that's all that I want.
They're confused. They're more confused than frightened at the moment, but it has done the job. You're not seeing those who looked like they were maybe considering running and jumping overboard or staying still at the moment. So you've still got about 3/4 of the cannons there, and you've got all the men there for firing them as we go along.
Yeah, I'm going to also tell them to redirect fire from the arms into the head / Excellent. Fantastic. Okay, cool. Any bonus actions, anything else that you want to do at the moment? Nah. I'm pretty well set down there in the cannon crew.
Fantastic. Okay. Logan with the 12. His like easily some of his worst initiative rolls, and he's still third. So yeah.
I don't know what you're telling
Logan.
Same thing.
Logan, as you look down, yes, you're looking at Kisera, but now the entire crew is dancing. Like they're like, you're like, has something good happened? Like everyone's dancing, everyone's at the cannons. Yep. Yeah. Cool.
Power of song, baby.
Same thing as last turn, but I'm gonna focus both shots on the weakest looking tentacle.
Cool. The last one did break off, so there is no weakest looking tentacle at
All
the
right,
moment.
then just the next one in line, I suppose.
That's fine. Cool. All right. So whatever it is, tentacle number 4. Not that we're necessarily lining them up or whatever. Yeah. So two rolls, please.
An 11 and a 28.
Cool. 11 misses. 28 hits.
So for the 28, oh come on. Oh wait, that's better than I thought. 11.
Okay, good solid hit on it. The 20, it's a good roll. The thrashing about and the movement and everything. You're in the crow's nest of a ship that's been rocked by the water, so the 11's not enough for it to hit. That's where the sort of difficulty in hitting her at the moment is. It's not necessarily like her armor or anything. I think he's reconnecting at the moment, but that's fine. So yeah, it's a good hit from him. Okay, Rian.
I don't have many spell slots left. I'm gonna wait and see what happens. Am I able to ready Gust?
Yes.
To potentially, what I would want to do with it is if Tommy shoots, use Gust to help the velocity and maybe potentially shoot straighter on
Accuracy.
target.
Accuracy of the bullet. I love it. Okay, fantastic. So that is your readied action. You would have to communicate that plan to Tommy. So basically the way ready works is you say, if X happens by the start of my next turn, it instantly happens. So now you would want to communicate that to Tommy. In case Tommy's like, yeah, keeps just shouting and cheering and doesn't actually take a shot. So
Cool, yeah. I'll yell to Tommy. Tommy, do you think those guns will hit?
Tommy's so full of confidence right now. Absolutely.
I'll add a little speed boost if you do it.
Sounds good.
Cool. Okay. And at that moment, basically at the midway, so basically with almost like an initiative of 10, is the cannons. So the redirected cannons based on Bo's actions before this are now aimed up more towards the tentacles and basically pinging through. A 5, but also a nat 20. So boom, 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 boom. About half of the cannons basically are pinging up towards, and you can see the damage that she's kind of taken up. It's a mixture of hitting her face, so some of them is hitting the face and hitting the eyes, and they're more sort of disruptions. Some of them are hitting the tentacles as well, but they're kind of dispersed across them as opposed to focus onto one particular tentacle. So a couple of them are taking damage, and that's helped the morale of the crew as well. A good solid hit and actually seeing that what they do is working. Okay. Tommy, your go now.
Okay. Tommy, since Tommy's gonna take his pistols and just kind of still yelling to the crew, like, especially because they're dancing now, and it feels a little weird about like what the fuck's going on. Who just turned my crew into like a Disney movie? But he's like very much like, we're damaging her. We're taking her down, and like even though he's not 100% sure if those hits are actually hurting, but he has motivation. Let's keep shooting, and I'll take my pistols or I guess can I shoot both? I'll shoot one. I don't know.
I'll let you shoot both because it is like
okay.
The moment. If you're ever going to shoot both,
yeah,
you're going to shoot them now.
Then I'm kind of standing in between the cannons on the front or the side portion of the boat as far out as I can, and I shoot off both my pistols.
Okay. So Gust is going to help not only the direction, so I'm going to let you roll with advantage with both guns. If they hit, there'll also be an extra D6 of damage per bullet that hits.
Okay. All right.
Fuck this up.
So, do I roll? Am I rolling one pistol at a time with advantage? So essentially, I'm doing 4 rolls, or am I just rolling with advantage and counting it as both pistols?
No, 4 rolls.
Okay.
So you're basically looking to aim with both guns.
All right.
And blessed, right?
Yeah, you got
and
blessed.
Yeah.
So you can add another D4.
There's no way
To
Tommy
no
could
loss.
miss these.
Yeah.
We really set you up for.
Oh no.
It's a nat
no.
one. It's a nat one, baby. I'm calling it right now.
Don't forget your bonuses too. From my
It doesn't matter
class.
if it's a nat one.
If it's a nat one,
It's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. It's
Oh god, thank you.
4 nat ones.
no. Okay, I just rolled. I rolled for one pistol with the advantage with the
yes.
for the bless. It's a
By the way, bless
14.
is a 1d4. It's not. Bless is a
Yeah, so-
1d4. It's not. It's not a +4.
yeah. I did. I rolled the
Okay,
d4.
cool.
So
That's cool.
one pistol,
What?
14.
Okay.
Do I roll? Do I roll the bless on the second one, or is it just like a one?
No, you can roll them both.
Okay.
I'll let you roll them both. Them.
19 for the second pistol.
Whew.
Hey, this is where I tell you the armor class is like 20, and you somehow miss. No, it's no. Okay, so with Captain Zane's pistol, miss. With your pistol, you do hit. So it's flying through the air, it's coming out of the thing, and it's just unnaturally fast as Gust immediately follows these bullets as a coordinated attack of Tommy's bullets with Rain's Gust, almost creating like a torpedo-like wind tunnel straight towards the top of Kazera. So yeah, roll for damage for the second end with your own pistol.
Wait, what the?
Hold on, he's never done this before.
I know. It's rolling so many dice on here, and I don't understand why.
Yeah.
Did you collect a bunch?
No.
Your revolver this whole time is like a was it like the Fat Man from Fallout? It's just a nuke.
Yeah.
I do 10 damage.
Okay, fantastic. Good hit. Hits one of the tentacles, does a bit of damage.
So yeah, so Tommy shoots off the captain's pistol, and it doesn't work, and he's trying to be confident, but there's definitely that little part of him is like, oh fuck, please. And with the second pistol, shoots it, and you can, the wind helps or whatever.
Right.
But since I did actually hit with my pistol for once in my life, I get that plus 12 added to the pistol the rest of my time, right? and roll back to the video to what he said. Let's go.
Sure, yeah.
It is now a plus 12 pistol.
The slow motion voice. Yeah, sure.
Exactly.
Okay, fantastic, Tommy. Yep, you've helped. You basically used your action in that sense. I'm going to go with sort of action and bonus action because there's two guns.
Yep.
Okay. That's fine. You haven't done anything for the morale of the group, just so you know, in terms of mechanics wise. All right.
Understandable.
So that's fine. It's good that it hit, but everyone's sort of happy feet, crazy feet, doing their cannon shots. So you haven't added anything onto that.
All right.
Okay, that's fine. Cool. That's Tommy and Tell. You are up.
So I have a question. I want to cast Sacred Flame, which is a cantrip.
Yep.
Do I have to roll to attack, or because it says you have to do a dexterity saving throw? Do I have to roll to attack still?
It means I have to do dexterity saving throw? No. Yeah. So me as the creature does. When you've attacks that are based on saving throws, it basically says it's going to hit in a way, or it's going to at least do some damage. So it's whether I take full damage or half damage.
Gotcha. So I want to cast Sacred Flame on the one that Tommy didn't hit.
Okay.
And then
a dexterity. So I got an 8.
14 is what it is.
So Sacred Flame. Tell me about that spell. Is it radiant or is it fire or what?
Flame-like radiance descends on a creature that you see within range. The target must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take one. Oh well, I have 2d8s, but radiant damage. The target gains no benefit from cover.
Okay, fantastic. So the reason I asked that is because like radiant, so it wasn't like fire against a water creature. Basically, is the way I was getting at. So if it's radiance, that's fine. It's a normal attack.
Perfect. So
and like normal damage. So you tell me what the damage is. Yeah.
8.
Okay, fantastic. So this fourth tentacle, whichever one it is across the board, is taking a lot of damage. It's starting to look a little bit weaker as well. Okay, which is good. But it does come back to Kisera's turn now. Okay, is there any bonus actions or anything you want to do before your turn is done?
Is there anywhere I can find cover?
Yeah. Yes, there's lots of barrels and boxes, and they're being swayed about and stuff. So yeah, you can heroically hide behind a box. Yeah.
I'll heroically get behind something and look at Timothy.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. The box you picked that you're back there also has Tobin behind it as well. So
okay, good. That's good. I'll see.
You can at least look like you're protecting Tobin.
Yeah.
Emotional support animal.
Emotional support animal. He is highly experienced in that role, as we know. And every time he's been an emotional support animal, there's been explosions, which is fine. Good. Okay, cool. Kisera's turn at this point, and she's basically going to take like a bite attack straight down into the middle of the ship. She's not really seeing humans or particular people at this level. She can kind of sense that Rian is there, but everyone's kind of so small to her at this size, so she's just coming straight down with a bite attack, and onto the middle of the cannons, and oh fuck, an actual nat 20 on that one. So this bite comes straight down, and it takes out 1/4 of the crew on the side were there. Sorry, go ahead.
Wait, can I know this is a stretch? Can I impose disadvantage with protection?
What is protection? Is it a reaction or is it
It is a reaction. When a creature you can see attacks a target other than you, and it would have to be within 10 feet.
Okay, so let's say her mouth is swooping down. So when it's within 10 feet of you, that's kind of when it happens. So yeah, I'm gonna let that stretch a little bit. Because there is a moment in time when you are 10 feet away from this face, because I specifically said it was her mouth coming down. Yeah, so I'm fine with that.
On the nose with my shield.
Okay. So she still gets a 15. So she's going to hit the ship, but is not as devastating as you'd feared before, which is fantastic, because other than about half of the ship and half of the crew and half of the cannons just about to be wiped out in one fell swoop, basically she's taken about another 1/4 of them. Okay, so you're down to half the cannons, half the people. Some of the crew members that are in her mouth now, you can just see their legs, and their legs are still kicking about, dancing, but in the air, but they're in her mouth. And she's basically swallowing and eating them or spitting them out like half-assed, and these wee legs are flying through the air.
So we can't say that Nelson was there and he parries her mouth. Is
How'd you get him to come with us?
Yeah. Okay. So a very, very good protection, because that was absolutely about to devastate.
We were gonna die.
Yeah. So never be afraid to go, whoa, I'm gonna do something. Just as long as you don't overdo your action slots, your reaction slots. Like I won't give you 2 reactions if you've already used one, for example. That's fine. So good memory, good recollection. Half of the cannons are gone. Half of the men are destroyed. They're terrified, but they're still dancing. And a couple of them now are really looking towards jumping off the ship now, because this thing is just going to keep attacking on them. Okay. However, in that moment, you do see as well, Aid and Danu are on the shoreline. Okay. Danu swoops up into the air and dive bombs straight into the volcano part of Aid. That's what you see. You basically just see Danu go straight up and into the volcano part of it. Okay, back to the top of the order. You basically see a huge splash of lava, and it just misses. It just misses like Jarvis and Beauregard and Rusty. They're all on the shoreline. They're basically all trying to ping away and do things that they can or help people get to safety. But Danahu's just basically plunged straight into the volcano part of it. Okay, Claude, up at the top of the order.
Oh, all right then. Yeah, the only thing I can do is continue casting Eldritch Blast.
Vert.
Sanity be damned.
Do it.
Yeah.
Unlimited power.
I am the Senate.
So the first one is a 19 to hit.
Yep.
The second one is a 23.
Fantastic. Both are going to hit.
And I'm
19.
gonna aim for... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So the 19 is going to hit the face. 23 will hit the tentacle that you're aiming for.
Okay. So for the first one, the face, that is 5.
Okay.
And for the tentacle attack, whichever one is weakest, I guess.
Yeah. So well, the tentacle, just basically roll damage for the both of them. Whichever one's highest, we'll say that's the one that hit the tentacle.
Okay.
'Cause it doesn't have
The
damage.
second one's a 9.
9. Okay, so 9 on the tentacle, 5 on the face. So pinging away. Okay, cool. Any bonus actions? Anything else at the moment? You've still got your reaction if you want to do anything else. You're keeping track of any spell slots that you're using.
I'm on,
I know.
I'm on the spells.
I know Eldritch Blast is just a cantrip anyway. And that little dull voice in the back of your head is getting louder. It's getting louder.
He's waving it away. You don't know what Claude's waving at. He's just distracted by something.
I think Bo sees it. He knows that voice. In the back.
Yeah, he does.
He's waving at
Okay.
us.
Okay, Bo, you're up.
Yeah. Well, so Cassera, she came in and took a bite out of us. Does that mean she kind of like closed the gap? I know she was, whenever we first started this, was 120 feet. How much has she closed the gap?
The sheer scale of her, basically, she can have a decent bit of a reach at the moment. So I'd say she's at least 30 feet anyway. Just because the sheer scale of her, when she reaches down, like her neck, she can get a really good distance on it. So yeah.
All right. I think instead of, well, I'm going back and forth on what I want to do, whether I want to use my action to persuade the crew to continue fire or if I want to cast fairy fire on her head.
Tactics.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know, but I think I'm going to...
Also, I know I meant that as a good thing, not as a metagaming thing. I just
No,
meant
I
that
know.
that's the sort of decision you're making, yeah.
So we got about a quarter of our cannons left, right? And
Just under half. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and go ahead and try to persuade the crew. I'm gonna say the crew that's still around that.
Yep.
Do you think it's any better out there in the water? We are a monster of our own on this ship. We can kill her. We have to do this. If we don't, we're dead anyway. We might as well go down fighting. And so that would be a... Thank goodness I'm good at persuasion, because that was a 21.
Nice. Yeah, that worked. Basically, there was a bunch of guys about to make their run. Like, they were right there. I was about to roll some dice to see who, or basically what number field. Basically like a kind of like a wisdom, but basically a courage test. So excellent. That has definitely helped. That has helped keep them there. You've basically persuaded them that if they were just to jump into the water, they'd probably die anyway. The sea is so tumultuous, and they'd probably drown if not actually just get eaten anyway. If Cassera's let to stay alive. Okay, fantastic.
Terrific.
Cool.
And then,
Is there anything else for Bo?
I got one more bardic inspiration, so I'm gonna use that bonus action,
Yep.
and I'm gonna say, Tommy, great shot. I know you can do it again. And I'm gonna give Tommy Bardic Inspiration, so you can
Nice.
roll another D8
Okay.
on
Fantastic.
anything
Too kind.
you want.
Excellent. Is that your go for now?
I'm gonna stay down with the cannon crew.
Sweet. Okay, so
So
you're
that's the target.
okay. Fantastic. Logan, you're up.
So in the middle of my last turn, my cat unplugged my headset. So I don't know if you asked me for bonus actions or movement, but if I was just silent, sorry about that.
No, it's fine. We saw it. We saw it as reconnecting, so we knew that we had lost you briefly. So it's okay.
No,
Okay.
I'm silent. You're not silent.
So for this turn, pretty much the same thing, but instead of going for the tentacles, I want to take 2 shots at her eyeball, or one of her eyeballs.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
And I forgot to use my blessing last time, so I'm gonna remember to do that this time.
There's a 37 hit.
Is it gonna be that high?
No. Typical Logan rolls is like there's a 37 hit. Yeah.
16 for the first.
Yep.
$21 for the second.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you're basically going for the eyes. They do hit. They don't have the same impact that you would sort of assume they're going to, because there's almost like kind of like a crust or a shell or the sort of crustacean like skin around the eyes. So it's not as blatant of a weak spot as you would sort of imagine with most type of creatures. So it does hit. They do hit, but you're not going to get like that, blindness or whatever that maybe you were hoping for.
At least
It was good. It was good idea. It's just the nature of this creature. So
I still roll for damage, or it doesn't matter?
oh yeah, no, absolutely. You still hit. You still hit, and you do some damage. It's just not like a critical hit or imposing any sort of a disadvantage on her.
Well, I got an 8 and a 6 for damage.
Okay, fantastic, cool. So still hitting the face, bang, bang, bang. You can see definitely has to shake it off a little bit, but still ready to move forward. Or your cat unplugs your headphones again. Any bonus actions or reactions?
No.
Secretly, the cat is on Kisara's team.
No, I'm good.
Okay, your own little displacer beast in the room there, just messing things up.
His cat knows we have a dog companion. He's not down about it.
It's the displacer kitten whose family we killed.
Oh no!
Oh man, yes, yeah. Okay, Logan, that's good. Okay, cannon fire, half the cannon fire as we are looking at it again. 2 good rolls. Boom, 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 boom. Another tentacle comes off, so it's just the sheer the rate of fire, the fact that there's still enough there going on and damage being taken to that. So we've got 4 of them destroyed, basically 4 of the 9 that are there that you can see as it's sort of moving along. So imagine 4 to each side, and then the sort of the main one in the middle as well, as almost looks like a kind of tentacle type mohawk. So basically, at this age you've done a lot. It's still 4 out of 9. Okay, yeah. Right, okay, that's cannon fire, and now we are over to Rain.
I'm gonna shoot magic missile.
Yep.
Level 1 at the tentacles. A 5, a 2, and a 4.
Cool. What you notice is that when your magic missiles hit, they do significantly more damage than they would to a normal one with the connection. So basically double your damage from your magic missiles. So instead of 11, you've hit it for 22. So a lot of damage to basically a 5th tentacle. Hasn't broke anything off or anything yet, but you can definitely see a real impact on that from your particular magic missiles. And that magic missile, now you can see these giant eyes. Now they've focused on their target. Now they've like, oh, that one's Rain. Okay. Cool. Anything else in terms of bonus actions, reactions, etc.?
Am I kind of in the? I'm kind of in the middle of the ship now. On the
Yes.
deck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move away from other people noticing her targeting.
Okay. Fantastic. So you're basically kind of the best way to do that probably is to get to the far side of the ship, because everyone else is at sort of this front edge where the cannons and stuff are as well.
Okay. It's like, I'll distract her. You guys keep shooting.
Yeah. As you're backing up, you see an extremely heroic Tell behind a box at the far end of the ship, the far corner of where you are.
Hey, I'm watching the dog.
Yeah, and Tobin is trying to jump out of Tell's arms, and Tobin is trying to move towards you. Tell, do you hold on to Tobin, or do you let Tobin go?
Rian, you want me to let him go?
No, hold on. Hold on to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep him
I'll hold
away.
on to him. Yep.
Cool. Tell, because you're now holding on against Tobin's will, I'm going to ask you to do a strength saving throw. You know when you pick up a dog, doesn't want to be picked up, and they're like, holy shit, I'm trying to get out of your arms. So
19. Stay with me, Tobin.
okay, you basically hold him really tight, and he's still squirming, but you're more than able to hold on to him at the moment. Okay, fantastic. Tommy.
Okay, question. So the volcano creature that came up, did they walk straight across the water, or did they use the land to come over to us? Like, does it have the ability to get out to where Cassera is?
Yes,
It does.
It does.
Okay.
So basically, it kind of walks through the water, like its sort of legs and things were, you know, you can imagine because it's kind of like a crab, it's kind of like this. So if it wants to be in the water, it could be like really, really tall.
Okay. DM, is there a strong wind out here today at all, or is it calm?
Probably the wind has been caused by the sheer movement of Cassera being thrust about.
Okay.
So there's a decent wind. You don't know if it's like weather based wind, if that sort of makes sense, but there is a lot of moving air.
Okay. I'm going to and you can DM this however you want.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
I'm going to use my action as the help action for loading the cannons and writing the crew and still shouting my things.
Yeah.
And I would like to bonus action bring the sails down. Because if they are
Nice.
up at the moment for possible mobility on my next turn.
Excellent.
You
Yeah.
captain.
So basically, because you know the ship, you know this particular ship, you're basically able to run past and like pull some cords and undo some things almost on the move. You're so used to like just pull that rope. It looks like it's super tight, but you know which way to tug it. So it goes and unravels, and the sails open up on the ship as you're basically in those few seconds. They start to unravel down, and you make your way towards the cannon. And you being there is going to slightly increase the rate of fire. That's there as well.
Okay, that's my turn.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, so that's cool. That is fine. And then Tell. You have Tobin in your arms.
Oh, Tobin in my arms. I think I'm gonna. I can't attack probably, unless I put him down. Huh.
I mean, where's Tobin really going to go on the ship, right?
Well, you could run into danger.
I mean, the whole ship is
Yeah.
technically danger at the moment. So when you have a 500-foot dragon biting down onto it.
Not behind my box. I'm
Yeah, except behind your box.
Yeah. Fixed point that dragon is staring at, and I believe it's another dragon. Like.
Hold on 1 second. Do you think I could create like a spiritual weapon with no hands?
Yes,
Just kind of I Dream of Genie blink it into existence.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, yeah. You can do your semantic movements with your hands while holding Tobin. Yeah.
I will do that. It's not a concentration, so that's good. Frick, I'm trying to figure out if I want to do a 2 or a 3.
Give me one very quick second. I'm absolutely dying to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
While you're figuring that out, I'm like, the tension is so much.
All right, everybody, let's metagame while I was gone. I honestly didn't. I mean, I knew this was going to be a big battle, but I didn't expect us to do this.
I was wondering how we're going to fit it all in. The battle at the manor into a battle with the gods.
Do you think he expected us to get to the boat? You think he expected us to take Danu? I want to know.
What I'm worried about now is that
It was too tempting not to. What are you worried about?
I'm worried about what's going to happen with Danu. Like, he's infusing himself with fire now, kind of the way Cassera is infused with air.
They're doing some weird anime combo shit over there.
Yeah, he's powering up.
They're Power Rangers.
They're combining their elemental abilities. As long as Danu doesn't turn on us.
I don't think he would.
I don't
Unless he
know.
gets
Radishing
corrupted.
likes to set up these plot twists. I don't know if I trust him.
Okay, is your gust a spell or a cantrip?
It's a cantrip.
Hey.
Tommy, ask for it. I know what you're thinking. Do it. Ask for it. Do it. Do it. Ask for it. Ask for the help. Talking is a free action, right?
Talking is a free action. I'm fine with that. If you want to go like a single statement, as long as you're not looking to explain like a full-on dialogue plan. In the
Crying is
moment.
also a free action.
Crying? Wait. No, crying actually takes up your full action.
Matt Mercer said crying is a free action.
Oh,
So I'm gonna do a second level.
Nick impression.
second level snake impression.
I'm out of spell slots in my second level, but so I'll cast a spiritual weapon towards her face.
Yep.
And then it can't attack, right? Or I can't attack or not move. I can't remember what we said last time.
I think whenever you spawn it, I think it can make an attack. But then anytime after that, it's your bonus action to control it.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
On the first turn, you get almost like the aim and hit idea. So that's just an action.
Okay.
But next time, if you wanted to move it somewhere and then attack, it's a bonus and an action.
So got it. Okay. So cast it, attack that face. Hold on, I'm writing notes for how many turns.
Of your notes, you keep taking notes, buddy.
Yeah.
If you want to go back to the notes and figure out, did I actually ever say Dusty or Rusty at the start?
Dusty?
And figure out
You
what
did
the hell,
say Dusty.
what the,
I wrote that down.
I did say Dusty. Yeah, I knew I
Yeah.
said Dusty, and I was like, oh, Rusty was right there. So yeah,
Okay. So. Frick.
Frick and
It's
frack.
just. I just roll a regular d20 to attack with spiritual weapon. There's no other.
yeah, I believe so.
It's just a melee attack. Looks like.
Yep.
17.
Excellent. Yep. So it's gonna smack in the face. And so, what does your spiritual weapon look like?
It's a long sword.
It's a longsword. So basically, this ethereal longsword basically flies through the air up into the sky and just slashes across the face. Yep. So it's basically hovering in front of its face now as well, and it's slashed at it. Okay. Cool. Nope. Good hit. Any other movement? Anything else?
Nope. And then damage. What?
Yep.
8.
8 damage. Okay. Good. Slash across the face. 8 damage right on the face.
Okay.
Fantastic.
And it does last for 10 turns, but it's not concentration.
Not concentration.
Last a minute. Yeah.
Lasts a minute. That's cool. And it's not concentration.
Not concentration.
Fantastic, because I was going to ask that the next time in case of like you holding Tobin and it together at the same time. Okay, fantastic. At that turn, so basically, Sarah's seeing this sword in front of her face and got the connection and looking towards Rian now as well, and basically, what she's going to do is swoop down under the water, swim under the boat, and pop up on the other side behind Rian. And her bite attack is coming down straight on top of Rian, or at least in Rian's direction. Rian, I'm going to ask you to do a dexterity saving throw, please.
Can I also use my reaction to cast shield on myself?
Yes, you can. Yep.
Okay.
Just because your turn hasn't come along, so yeah, it's fine.
And I'll impose disadvantage if I can.
Got a reaction left? That's fine, yeah.
I do have a
And
reaction.
my
It's
reaction.
the only thing I have to use it on. You have my shield.
I think we successfully used those reactions properly.
Yep, correct.
Once per turn.
Okay, I got a 9 on dexterity.
Okay. Good. A 9 on dexterity. Okay. And then I'm going to say that you will need to use your shield if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
Disadvantage, you said? Claude, yeah?
Yes.
Oh no.
Very, very luckily, you did. Because I rolled a 10 with disadvantage. So 9 plus the shield with disadvantage was exactly needed. So, Rian, you get out of the way of the bite, but it has damaged the ship. And now she's on the other side of the ship away from the cannons. The seals are down. That part of the ship is damaged, but Rian, you got out of the way of the bites, so you don't have another monster swallow you, basically, which I know you're accustomed to. You're used to in this adventure. Okay, but you do get out of the way, thankfully, by the skin of Kisera's teeth. That's like, you needed every single part of that combination to get out of that. But that's where Kisera is. She's now on the other side of the ship. Cannons are the wrong way. Everything else is in the wrong way. Claude, as you are turning around, you notice that the sails have now completely unfurled down, and they're starting to billow a little bit with the wind, or with movement. Not very fast at the moment, but you can see the ship is starting to make its way.
All right. I trust Tommy knows what he's doing. He is the sailor.
Yep.
All right.
He's
All right. It's time to blast Kisera.
By the way, is see your protection? Was that a spell slot or anything, or is that just a cantrip?
The protection.
Yeah.
It's a reaction. It's an ability.
It would still use a spell slot if it's a spell.
Yeah.
It's not a spell.
It's not a spell. Okay, cool. I'm just making sure of that because technically with your Eldritch Blast being a cantrip and the idea of potentially doing 2 spells in the one turn, but I didn't rule that or didn't think it, and I'm fine with the super dramatic moment of Rian diving out of the way and just barely missing being shot.
Protection is just an ability I have when wearing a shield, so it's a reaction, but it's not any sort of spell.
Okay. Oh, it's to do with your shield. That's fine.
It's
Cool.
when equipped with a shield, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
Right.
whenever she bit that first time, he was just like, can I impose disadvantage with my shield? And just like, I just imagine him putting up his shield and just like the bite, just like.
Yeah.
Very Captain
Yeah.
America.
But yeah. But she's so big, so it's like, yeah, it didn't do the full amount of damage, but it still crashed into the ship. It's not like you full on bounced the dragon away. So yeah,
No.
more like a slight deflection, which is fine.
Right.
Okay, cool. And is there a range on protection? I just want to know, just in case.
Yes. So normally it's 5 feet, but because I have the amulet of the pale wind that we got in flattery, my reactions are extended another 5 feet. So 10 feet
Love
total.
it. Love it. Love that
Yes.
you're using all that stuff. Because yeah, I was just thinking, it's like, yeah, he would have had to be really close, and it's like, thank you, got a bit of extra distance. Good. Cool.
I don't know how I picture it. It's like Captain
Yeah.
America tossing a shield and then it bounces
Yeah.
back after.
just enough to give Rhea that extra second in her dive away is really what that did there, and you needed
react.
every single part of that. Okay, cool. Claude, it is your actual turn. You're using the Eldritch Blasts again. Yep.
Yes. And just for clarity, because I think I remember from playing Baldur's Gate, I think so. You can't do spells get crit and fail, like nat 20s and nat 1s? Because I got a
Yes.
nat 1, but I have a lot of bonuses on my first blast.
Yeah. Well, I played them that, and Baldur's Gate can do whatever it wants.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to figure out the D&D. Like,
yeah,
set.
that's fine. Yeah, I ain't Lothian.
So my first, so the first blast was a nat 1, but with my plus and my bless, it is a 12.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask for Bo's input on that one. Bo, would you do a crit fail on a spell casting?
I don't know.
Impartially, would you?
No, I genuinely don't know. That's something I'd have to. I don't know.
So
Yeah, okay.
here's my understanding is that. Sorry, go ahead, Bo.
Oh, I'm just saying I'm a noob. That's all I
Yeah.
said.
So my understanding is that there is a feat that allows you to crit on spells, otherwise they don't naturally crit when you roll a nat 20. So by that logic, I think if you rolled a 1, it wouldn't fail. The same way
Okay.
you couldn't crit unless you took this feat, right?
And then that probably means I'm a little bit kinder because I like the idea of if you roll a nat 20, even if it's a spell, it does cool stuff. So you kind of take you could have got the nice nat 20, or you can get the bad nat 1.
Right.
You know, as opposed to it's vanilla unless I have this extra feat. You know.
I mean, it
So,
says make a ranged spell attack. I would think.
Yeah.
I kind of agree.
I was thinking because you can crit fail a melee attack. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rule it for this one, for this particular roll, as that is not a crit fail, but going forward, we will do crits, fail, and success on spells. So we'll kind of have that as an agreement. So just because it hadn't been ruled as before this, so you'll get away with it this time. You won't get away with it next time.
I mean, it only ended up being a 12 total anyway, so I wasn't sure if that even hits. So.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Don't worry, I'm not going to fall out with you on it, but I'll go with that one in terms of it not being that.
Okay.
Okay,
so
what
the
about your second one?
blast is a 22.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So the 22 is gonna. So the other one is gonna miss. The 12 is gonna miss anyway. Yeah. The 22 does hit another one of the tentacles. It does a decent bit of damage onto it.
It does one.
Okay. It does some damage. It scratches it a little bit harder than you'd like. Okay. So it grazes the tentacle. Okay. So yeah, not enough to actually do that. But once again, that little deep voice in the back of your head is getting louder.
But I only did a little bit.
It's getting louder. It's concentrated, and you're doing it over and over again in a short period of time.
Can't do anything else.
Boom, 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 boom.
That's
Okay,
all I've
cool.
got.
That's the
Yeah.
real crit fail. Right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Okay. You get slight flashes in your mind of your completely devastated father, your emotionally destroyed son, that anger in his eyes. Those sort of scary images, nightmarish-esque images are flashing up through your head. You're seeing Niall's clockwork body and thinking about the good times and thinking about what torture and everything he went through to be able to be turned into that monstrosity. You can't even imagine what would have happened at that point of being kidnapped. You know, this idea that there was a young man there who intentionally distracted Niall so that he would be kidnapped. And like, you just think of that betrayal that's in that moment and what could have happened there. All of these sort of negative, scary thoughts are coming into your head as you increasingly tap into that part of your powers. Okay? Okay. I get you, but still. But live with it. Okay. Any movement, any bonus actions, anything like that?
I guess I'll just place myself as close to the center of the party. You know, besides Logan, who's up in the crow's nest, just as close to the center as I can.
Yeah, you're pretty much at the base of the crow's nest where Logan is. So that's kind of the most central point at the moment. Okay. Right, Bo.
All right. So Tommy came down to the cannons. Right?
Cannons as well, yeah, he did.
Yeah. And the ship has taken some damage. Can I assume that? I wonder if I can possibly negate any negative. I don't know if there's any negative effects that are going to be happening from that. But I'd like to, kind of like go down below deck and try to possibly patch up any damage or.
Yeah. That's fine. So you can basically try to plug away at some of the holes. Those sorts of things that would be reducing the speed of the boat if it was moving away.
Okay.
So by doing that, you'd be benefiting the boat by being able to move a bit faster.
Tommy, you take command of the cannons. I'm going to go downstairs and try to patch up any holes. And so that's what I'm going to do.
Any other actions, Bo, with that? I know it's more of a plan, but yeah.
No, I figured that would be my action.
Yeah, that's fine. So basically, there's probably the quickest way for you to be able to get down is to jump down in one of the slashing parts where Cassera had attacked. It's basically taking away like a top layer, so you can actually jump down to the lower decks from there rather than try to find any stairs. You can actually just jump down because there's a huge hole in the side of the ship, cutting out the top of it. Excellent. Okay, cool. So while you're basically repairing away at that, that's going to help maintain the ship's stability and its ability to be able to move off as it starts to push forward towards that. Okay, Logan, you're up.
Well, gotta do the same thing like 4 turns in a row pretty much. After seeing that didn't affect, there was no effect shooting her eye, going back to one of the tentacles. So 2 shots at one of her tentacles.
So go for it.
Easy.
To be fair, Happy, I don't have the kind of range that you do.
Oh wait, I get blessing. Blessing is still active, right?
Yep.
16 and 29.
Good. Yep. Both going to hit the 16. One's going to hit the face. The 29 is going to hit the tentacle.
All right. So for the 16, nat 20. So, oh wait, no, never mind. I rolled the wrong thing. Nah, I just messed up with that 20.
47 damage.
But that's not right. A 5 for the 16.
Okay. Yep. At the
and a 6 for the
a 5 and a 6. Yeah, so five hits the face, kind of bounces off it, but it does have a little bit of a scratch of effect, and the 6 does hit one of the tentacles. The 5th one is starting to look a little bit wobbly as well. Okay.
And I will use some movement this turn. I'm going to get down to the crow's nest. I want to slide down one of the ropes and get on the main deck.
Okay, fantastic. Can you roll acrobatics for me, please? Because you're basically swinging down.
14.
Excellent. That's absolutely fine for you. A little bit of a look behind the curtain. I'm glad you did that because I was definitely attacking that that pole on the next turn.
I was like,
yeah, I was definitely slashing at that on the next turn. So yep, cool, good. I'm glad you said that because otherwise you were going to make some dramatic jumps to not crash down. Okay, fantastic, cool. So basically, you've used your movement and you've been able to slide down safely. So you're now at the base of the pole. Where Claude is as well.
Perfect.
Okay, fantastic. Right, cannons at that point. Tommy, I'm going to sort of link this with your sort of turn as well. There's nothing the cannons to do. Cannons can't fire at the moment. They're pointing in the wrong direction. So you can have a little bit of thinking in terms of if you want to sort of give up on that idea or what you want to do. But simply the cannons have to skip their turn. There's nothing they can do. Their feet are dancing away. Their faces are especially scared now because now they don't even have control over fighting back. Okay, so no fire from the cannons. Rian, your turn whenever you're ready.
Where are we at with tentacles at this point?
I'm also gonna call out real quick. We lost the cat. The cat took his internet out completely. Tommy calls out to Rain. I'm trying to figure out a way to see if you'll hold your action, Rain, to use Gust, and he points towards those. I'm gonna need your wind help on those, and points towards the sail as Tommy would be making his way up to man the ship.
Okay.
Is Cassera still focused on me at this point?
Yeah, she's definitely focused on you.
Okay, I'm gonna need you guys to cover me. I guess I'll go. Is there room behind the spot where Tell and Tobin? Okay, I'll try to hide back there, I guess. Well, no. If she bites again, that's bad news. Is there anything around me I can try to get cover behind?
So in a way you're basically asking, can you hide from her, and she's staring at you. So it's not exactly like peekaboo where you just go, I'm not here anymore, and she goes, where did she go?
ADHD, object impermanence. I don't know.
I do know that very well. So no, it's like the idea, go behind the box. Where does it go?
If Kay's willing to do it, she doesn't obviously have to because it's her own turn. But I'm after her in the initiative, so I'm kind of asking her if she'll hold her turn, her action, to use her gust wind for the sails.
I wasn't thinking about that. You're directly after me, so
yes, you don't have to because it's obviously your turn and you play however you want. But that's why I was I had to figure out a way of how to describe what I kind of wanted. But
it's technically metagaming because you're thinking about it in terms of order and turns and things like that.
That's why I kind of just yelled out. That's why I made the point of Tommy's yelling out. I'm gonna need help with those, but it's her call if she does or doesn't do it.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it for the moment, but we won't sort of do that. Or changing up the timings of it as well. I think that's okay because Rian's turn at the moment, she wasn't really running to do anything at the moment, so I'm kind of happy for her to just almost take it as her reaction will be to react to what you're saying. How about that? Okay, so no other reaction turn by Rian in this turn if she's going to react to what you say. So, right. Okay, Rian, you're busy running about. You're thinking of kind of hiding, not sure about hiding, hoping that Cassera has ADHD and that her dragon state object permanence comes into play. My first question is, do you hide on the same side as Tobin and Tell or not?
Yeah, I'm not gonna put Tobin at risk or Tell. So I guess I'll just still be playing.
I like the way you begrudgingly said and Tell. I'm not gonna put Tobin in danger. And Tell. Yeah.
I'll just keep being the word is hard. Dangly feather thing for the cat. Distraction.
Distraction. Okay. Very good. Okay, cool. And you can react to, I'll let you do a reaction to what Tommy says, which is now his turn.
Yeah, I'll just prepare the gust.
That's good.
Okay. So Tommy realizing that we're taking this damage, like we can only take so many hits from this thing, is he runs up to the grabs the wheel with the hopes that Rain is gonna throw Gust into the sails, and I would like to turn the wheel towards port side, not because I'm definitely looking at a thing, it's because I know ship terminology. And I looking at our picture, it looks like we kind of have one of those masses almost kind of going off the front, almost like a ram.
Yep.
I would like to steer the ship and ram Kisera with the ship.
Okay, fantastic.
Ramming speed.
That is not the way I thought you were going to go with the movement, but yep, love it. Okay, cool. So you basically, you're saying, Rain, need gust, and your action and the movement is going to turn towards that, and you're basically looking to ram into Kisera.
Yeah, because she came. Well, she came to the other side of the ship, got close enough to do a bite attack on her, even though long neck and whatever.
Yes.
So I'm thinking with the assistance of Gust, it's going to get us to her the movement rather than just normal wind.
I'm totally fine with that, especially because you've got Gust, so Rain can basically kind of direct it. It's not like you're just relying on the wind to get you perfectly where you need to go. You've got like a controlled element to the wind. So you're going to roll into that. Okay, fantastic.
This is absolute shenanigans, and I apologize to everybody if this doesn't go right.
Cool. Right. This is going to... You basically got one shot at a ram, because as you can imagine with a boat, you can't really do reverse and then re-ram and reverse and re-ram.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. You're going to hit her.
Re-ram.
Okay. I'm going to let you roll 2d20 for damage.
That's 19. Can I throw in?
Yeah.
Wait, does inspiration doesn't go on damage? Never mind.
Doesn't go into damage, yeah.
So
19. Altogether 19? Mm-hmm. Yeah, excellent. Okay. So the good thing is basically you can see the real point on the ship and it goes straight into, so it does properly connect with Kisera and it does spike into her. But you're now stuck. I'm going to say stuck in her. But you are stuck. You basically you put this wedge, this front of the ship. See the this part here coming up.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically stabbed her.
Exactly. So
and now the ship is right there underneath her face.
Okay. Does that would you say, DM, that hinders her movement as well? Now that we've stuck a full ship into her.
It absolutely does.
Excellent.
It absolutely does. Keep her in place. So without her, unless she tries to do something, but basically wherever she goes, you go. He says Okay, fantastic. So Tommy, you and Rain have successfully comboed again into a very cool ramming attack that has basically stabbed and speared into Kisera. Okay, fantastic. Tell, you're up.
Okay. Any tentacles left to hit?
Yep. So there's still 4 of the 9. So basically, you're about to damage the 5th one. The 5th one's looking pretty risky at the moment.
Okay. Let me move my spiritual weapon to that one.
Yep.
And then I will attempt to attack.
Okay. So bonus action for the movement. Yep. Roll to attack.
14.
Okay. It connects more with sort of the top of her head rather than on the actual tentacle. So it does a bit of damage. It just doesn't hit the tentacle. Okay.
Okay.
Another strength save, because Tobin's taking this opportunity when you're distracted to try to burst out of your arms again.
He needs to relax, okay? I do have animal handling, I think.
Just grab him by the throat. That's fine. If your animal handling is a higher modifier than strength, I'm happy to use that.
Okay. 12.
Okay, just about. Right. It took the moment you were distracted, and basically you're able to hold them in place. Okay.
Okay.
Fantastic. Right. Kisara basically taking this moment, and you can kind of see that her claws are now either side of the boat. And she's basically grabbed the boat with her hands. Okay? And she's staring down towards Ryan. In that moment, out of the volcanic, the lava for aid, comes Danu, rising up out of it, completely enveloped in fire, and he's screaming. And so he's basically done his version of combining earth and fire, since Kisara is the combination of water and air. And he has burst out of this, and he is just looking to dive bomb straight into Kisara. And he, with the distraction, with her focus completely on Rain and holding the boat, and the boat kind of helping to pin her in there, it's too late for her to be able to see Danu just crash straight into her head and took an absolute ginormous amount of damage, and he basically disintegrates in that moment of time. So basically, as you can imagine, it's fire, it's wood, it's crumble. He's basically kamikazed. It's the only thing that he was doing. She's the combination of water and air. He's had to go with the combination. The only way to try to equalize this in any way possible. There wasn't enough time available. He's kamikazed straight into her, and he's basically going to disintegrate on that. The fire and the shards and the lava are just pouring over her face and her head. She's taken an extreme amount of damage on that. And basically you can see quite a few of the tentacles that are on the head, they've taken real damage on that. She is significantly weaker. You can now see the pain of where the boat had stabbed her. Just an absolute ginormous amount of damage in a turn in this sacrificial play by Danu, who finally got up off his ass to actually do something about this. To do something about this set.
Himself. That's extreme.
Don't you put that on me.
So yeah, basically Danu's taken that moment, dive bombed into it, disintegrated, taking a huge amount of damage to Kisara. This is probably the weakest that Kisara has looked. You can kind of see her really at sort of her sort of very, very weakened state at the moment, especially pinned onto the boat. Okay, Claude, you're up.
It's time. All right, I'm gonna stop using Eldritch Blast. So I'm gonna draw my light crossbow.
Yeah. Okay.
And continue firing on the tentacles.
Yeah.
Or I attack the hands. I'm not sure. She's weakened. I'll fire on the tentacles. Might as well just hit the weak spot.
Cool.
Nat 20 on the attack roll, which is 25, 26 with the bless.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic.
And then the crit, we're gonna. Oh my god. All right, so double damage, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's a 3 double 2 6. Whee!
Oh, so no, sorry, no. The way I do crit damage, rather than having a double of a crap score, take the absolute max that you can get from a roll, and then add. So if the max you can do is say 1d8 plus 2, you're doing at least 10 plus your normal roll. Okay? Because I hate those things. Yeah, I did a crit doubles. You're at least doing full damage plus.
Okay, so it's actually exactly that. It's 1d8 plus 2, so 10, plus what I rolled for 13.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Perfect.
13 points of damage. Basically, the 5th and 6th tentacle were destroyed in the dive bomb attack. You've taken off number 7. on that as well. There's basically 2 tentacles remaining, one slightly off to the side and one that's sort of the main mohawk, one in the middle. Okay?
Sweet, and that'll be my turn.
Cool. Bo.
So last turn, I climbed into the belly of the beast, trying to fix and help, help the ship along. I'm gonna emerge. I don't know how much movement you want to deduct me, but would I be able to make it to? You
did get the feeling that when you were patching up the boat in those sort of moments, that it did help actually increase the ramming speed, which showed up on a dice that I did when I was going along.
Yay! That's cool.
So I did want to do a mechanic element in that because it's exactly what it needed to do. It needed to go faster. It had taken a huge amount of damage, so it gave an extra bit of damage. So well done.
Yay! So I'm gonna try to climb up and mana cannon myself. I would like to.
Okay, fantastic. So you're on a cannon. So basically, cannons are now pointed at her hands, basically, or one of the cannons is pointing towards her hands.
That's right. Actually, I forgot about that. Where we were.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You're pointing at her. So if you want to fire a cannon, it's going to fire at her hands. Or if there's something else you want to do towards the actual.
No, I think I'm going to do what I wanted to do before, which is cast Fairy Fire on the remaining 3 tentacles.
2 tentacles. Yeah.
2 tentacles. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope that they're side by side. So
tentacles.
They're close enough that they're going to be there. Yeah.
So she needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
No, she only rolled a 3. So which actually, even with disadvantage, still a 3 because she is pinned against a boat. So she's definitely not dexterous at the moment.
We ain't going nowhere. I got
you for 3 minutes.
Some playtime.
Playtime.
So did that, and I'm going to. Would I be able to throw one of my daggers at her tentacle? I have a 60.
Yep.
I would assume it's the farther ranged one.
Yeah.
Does that mean that you do that at disadvantage?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would go ahead and throw that.
You still have things like bless and stuff out there as well. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you have bless. It's still a disadvantage because although she is pinned, she's like writhing, and there's still a lot of movement. Not like she's perfectly still.
Gotcha. So that would be a 19 to hit. I got a 21 and a 17.
Excellent. So 19 damage?
No, that was just a hit.
I thought it was like multiple daggers. Sorry.
No, well, I only have. I'm just going to use this as my bonus action.
Okay.
Throw a dagger.
That's fine.
That would be, I guess, 1 damage.
Yep. So it's a dagger. You're basically Hail Mary throwing it up at the thing. So it does stick into it. It's just barely into. Just with its size compared to the size she is, you did damage. It's just never going to be devastating with a dagger anyway. So
sorry for wasting everyone's time. All right.
And she had 1 HP left.
How do you want to do this? It's like one of those old Call of Duty videos, where they throw the dagger and it bounces and hits the guy randomly in the heel and game-winning kill. Okay, yeah. So, but you've done Fairy Fire, so both of those things are basically lit up, and brings you back to moments when you've used Fairy Fire in the past, like the giant toad and all those other creatures as well. So fantastic. Okay, Logan. You have swirled down the crow's nest, and basically now you're looking straight up towards Kisera.
And still 2 tentacles, the one mohawk one and one on the side, correct?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to do these 2 shots separately. First shot will be at the side tentacle.
Okay, fantastic.
That's with it. You have advantage on both those shots.
Yeah, I'm rolling a d4 right now. So that's 13 to hit.
Yeah. Did you say, Bo, you were saying about he has advantage as well?
Yeah, because of the Fairy Fire.
Yeah, exactly. No, I just meant for Logan to know, yeah. Yeah. He was
What's
just
Fairy
adding
do?
blessing.
Fairy
You
fire
get to
gives-
roll every attack with advantage.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, well, my D4 was a 1, so let me re-roll my attack then. And okay, so that changed it to a 27 to hit.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So that's definitely pinging the lesser tentacle
And 12 damage.
of damage. Yeah, so that's bang. So that's going to split off as well, and you can basically see once again the blood that's coming in, the tentacles are coming in. She's becoming smaller and smaller every time you're taking one of these off. She's still pinned onto the front of the ship. It's becoming smaller and smaller as it goes on. She's still, comparatively huge, but she's getting much closer to Aid's size and Danu's size into the dragon form as opposed to this colossal beast that she was before. Okay, and your second attack?
Second attack will be at the main tentacle. Roll with advantage. It's gonna hit regardless of what this D4 does. But that'll be a 30 to hit.
Right. Okay, we're definitely looking at these dice, but that's fine.
You sure that was a critical?
Yeah. Okay, so 30 to hit, which is fine. So it's going to hit that. So yeah, roll for damage.
And 12 damage again.
Oh, damage hit. So it's a good hit. It's sturdier. Obviously, this main tentacle, so it's sturdier. It's a good hit on it. It's still a bit charred from Danu basically crashing into it, so it's taking a bit of damage, and that's okay. Good. So 2 good hits, including one of the tentacles being pinged off as well. And the bleeding, and when you see the kind of the blood falling from these points, you can see the double colored blood, the really dark blue blood and the really light blue blood as it's sort of dripping down as well. That's okay. Cannons go off their turn on one of the sides. The hand is right there. There's only a few cannons left, especially when the hand kind of crashed into the side of it. So it takes a little bit of damage. It's enough to make the hand go, but puts it back into place. Rian. Kisera is basically still staring down you, and this is probably the first moment of fear that you're seeing in her eyes. And all the time she's been staring you out and haunting you, she knows she's in trouble now.
How close is her head to me?
How close do you want it to be?
I want to be able to touch it in some way, even if I have to jump.
Okay. You can, if you choose to, run up the pole that she's stabbed on to get within touching distance of her.
Okay.
That would be an acrobatics check that if you fail, you fall into the water. Because you are basically running up a pole. So.
Oh my god.
Yes, fall in the water.
No, wait. Do we still have this? This. Bless.
Yeah, bless is there. Yeah.
So that's plus a D4.
Yep.
It's not gonna save me, but just in case. Okay, a 2 plus a 3.
Okay, so Rian runs up. She's heroically running up the pole, and the moment she touches it, it's basically covered in it's a wooden pole. It's wet. There's blood on it from Kisera, and just loses her footing, and she just tumbles off the side. She's into the water. She's gone over. She's gone overboard. But you will be within touching distance.
I was about to say, can I still just use my shocking grasp cantrip?
You can, but you're in the water.
I'm following Danu. I mean, I made him sacrifice himself,
Okay.
so I gotta bring the same
Go for it.
energy.
Okay, go for it. You're within touching distance.
It's a 20 to hit. Dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Okay, because I thought you were about to crit yourself, which I thought would have been an incredible moment. So a dirty 20. So you're definitely going to hit. And you're both taking double damage.
Can I, in reaction, use Featherfall on her so that she doesn't hit the water? Can she still be touching the dragon as she falls?
I would have allowed it if you said it a bit sooner.
Okay.
But a bit basically when she went in the water and then she's already done this.
Okay.
And she did roll and she rolled for the attack. But it would have been a good idea. But another action has happened since then, so otherwise it would be red.
That's fine. I forgot it was reaction, so
that's all right. That's all right.
Is it a reaction?
Cool. I think it's an action, but even then, it's more the order of things. She's already done something. So. Yeah, use it as a reaction. Yeah.
So it was 8 and double damage is 16.
16. Yeah, you're both going to take 16 points of damage. Okay. Can I ask you to do a Constitution saving throw to see if you retain consciousness in the water? Because basically you've basically taken a defibrillator while in the water. So I need to know if you haven't passed out.
That was almost a 1, and then it flipped at the last minute. Oh, it's a 17.
Okay, so you maintain consciousness in the water, but Kisera lets out a massive scream at that, and the last tentacle basically is it doesn't break off or anything, but it does almost kind of go lifeless on that, right? So huge scream. You're feeling that you nearly pass out in the water, even though you fell off the pole. Kisera's the last tentacle goes rigid and then falls apart. And then as Kisera the dragon is basically disappearing, in her place on the pole itself is replaced by the withered body of Maria Marcel, pinned on the pole, basically gored with this pole on this ship. Her skin is completely blue, like you could tell, like it's not like she would have woken up perfectly healthy. She's been this vessel for a god and all that for the longest time, so you can see in the bodies, but she's basically been just gored through by the post of this ship. So Claude looks up and basically sees the dead / dying body of his mother pinned onto the bow, I think it is, of the Howling Boar.
Oh, I must have done something to offend Radishing.
And in that moment, so basically you are out of combat, and Kisera as the threat on Daggerford has been extinguished. Congratulations on that.
Yeah.
As it goes through, it's like the most pessimistic victor goes, "Oh hey, your mom's pinned on that thing. Congratulations!"
Everybody you know and love has either betrayed you or died. So nice work, bud.
It's your villain time to rise.
Jesus Christ.
So Aid at that moment, the basically you can see him almost sort of get up, and he just starts to unceremoniously he's leaving. Like he's never been a chatterbox. He's just making his way back towards the mountain. As far as he's concerned, balance has been restored from what that he can, in his sort of simplistic mind, has done. So it's just trudging away back towards it. It's not friends with you. It's not looking for a prologue of a conversation. Kisera's taken care of. He's away. So he's basically trudging out there. Daggerford is decimated, but not to the extent that Shellburg was destroyed. It's just a lot of physical damage, with the port area basically destroyed, as opposed to the entire town itself. And the Howling Boar is barely standing in the water, with a new masthead of Maria Marcel.
That's not okay. You can't get away with this.
So, Tommy, you're looking at Claude, looking up at his mother. You know it is your idea to basically spear the ship. You railed his mom. So that's it. So that's what you did. You every other joke you want to make about that, about giving her wood and all that sort of stuff, that's all there. Enjoy it. enjoy chat. If they want to come up with their best caption for that moment, that's fine. Please do. And we'll go with that. So Danny's gone. Ian is away. Cassara's been taken care of. Daggerford's been saved. The slave trade with regards to the Seven Sons has been taken care of, but Nelson Marcel is still alive. Captain Zane is dead. Tobin is still alive somehow. So
Hey, what happened to Daniel?
yeah,
Bo didn't see what happened. He was in the boat.
We deserve
Yeah.
a long rest now.
you sure do. You sure do.
My long rest is going to be jumping into the ocean with all my armor on.
Maybe he's
Some
still
fun.
electrified.
Yeah.
Claude's
So-
done. Claude's done.
Yeah. So we have that moment as you guys finally take a breather after all this time. Cassara has been defeated and is no more. Tommy, as you look towards the water's edge, you can see Aesir and Larix basically looking out towards you. They're all still alive. That's all good. Yeah. So congratulations. And as you all begin to celebrate, you hear a massive rumbling from the sky. It seems like the sky and the water and the ground itself is going to war with itself. This huge amount of noise and vibration, and in front of you, the sky itself in front of you seems to tear apart as this dark green portal rips open in front of you for a brief moment. And this ancient bark-like ginormous hand bursts out through the portal for a very, very split second and says, "Now, the only one that was keeping me back is gone. Udanu, thank you for your sacrifice." And the portal closes and this arm gets sucked back into for a very, very brief moment as we look towards Arc 2 for this adventuring party.
Holy shit! He just
This
Marvel.
guy's gonna have to wait.
He just Marvel
Yeah,
movie
that's-
released us. There's gonna,
I
he just
gave you a
cornered.
prologue and after credits trailer.
Oh my god! There's a
Word.
whole fourth quarter of movies coming. Good lord!
Return for phase 2.
Yeah.
return for phase 2. We don't stop. The world doesn't stop. Things have been happening. Why have these things happened? And because Danu finally got off his ass. Maybe Danu had a reason for the way he was doing things. Maybe he did. Maybe there's something else out there.
Damn
With
it.
that, thank you very, very much for that saga of the four forces of nature. As an absolutely epic finale, which I loved every second of it. And for the love of God, you guys, I didn't even think of you going on the boat. I didn't even think of you going on the boat. That is why you do not over prep for D&D as a DM. Because you're like, hey, can I jump on your back, Danu? I was like, fuck it, let's go. Let's go.
That's the thing, though. It seems so tempting because you're like, all right, here's this flying dragon.
Yep.
Big
Yep.
boat shooting at another god. How you gonna get over there? What are you gonna do? You gonna fight this giant dragon on the ground? That doesn't make sense.
I know.
Like, it's
Yeah.
strange.
It did.
I'll be back in like 30
and-
seconds. I'll be right back, folks.
It made it feel.
All right. So, there you have it. There's gonna be more. I thought maybe we were hitting like end of the campaign, but he has more. I held my father's loving hand and felt no worth. It's such a long name. Can I just call you like a loving hand or warmth or something to shorten it down. Regardless, thank you for popping in. Definitely check out the campaign. After we get done with this, I take about a week. I edit the whole video and put it back up on my YouTube channel. So the whole 18 episodes will be up there if you want to catch up on it. Thank you all very much for watching. This was a fun conclusion, but it looks like there's going to be more, which I'm excited about. I should be back my normal times next week, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 6 Eastern, for some more gaming and fun. But for now, have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Catch y'all later.